Good evening, hello everyone, and welcome along to the Champions League Goal Show. It is match day 4. We are back once again for the Champions League, and there is plenty of action to come tonight across the board. We've got kickoff in about 5 minutes' time, so we're going to race through the lineups in a moment. We've got some big games, some big action, and hopefully tonight we get plenty of goals across the board, because it certainly brought us plenty of goals yesterday in the action that we had in the Champions League. But we've got some big games. Without further ado, we will go into those matches and get the boys in one by one and very quickly talk about their games. So you'll be able to see on your screen right now 3 different matches taking place tonight across the board. You can see on the left-hand side is the game I'm going to be keeping my eyes out on tonight, of course. That is the game between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow. Should be a fairly good match indeed. The last time these sides faced off against each other, it was quite a dramatic game. It was 1-1 in the end, and Lokomotiv Moscow looking quite strong in their group. 4-4-2 for Atletico tonight. Oblak's in goal, back 4 of Trippier, Savic, Jimenez and Renan Lodi. Midfield 4 of Llorente, Saul, Koke and Carrasco. And then up top tonight is Correa and João Felix. And then it's a 4-5-1 for Atletico tonight. Atletico Lokomotiv tonight. Guilherme is in goal, back 4 of Ribas, Murillo, Choluka, and Zviagolidov. I think that's how you pronounce it. Zviagolidov. I'm going to try and pronounce that throughout the night. Midfield 5 of Miranchuk, Kamano, Kritkoviak, Kulikov, Ignatiev. And then up top is Luis. Should be a fairly good game indeed tonight. We'll have to see what happens in that match as Bernardo has put up the Midtjylland, and that is the game going on in the middle of the screen. And to cover that game tonight between Ajax and Midtjylland is going to be Rowan. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much. You can see on the screen the 2 lineups tonight for Ajax and Midtjylland. Starting off with the Ajax lineup is a 4-3-3 tonight, and Arna's in goal, back 4 of Mazraoui, Sers, Blind and Tagliafico. Midfield 3 of Klaassen, Labyad, Gravenberch. And then up top is David Neres, Traore and Tadic. And then it's a 4-2-3-1 for the away side tonight. The Danish Midtjylland side, of course. Hansen is in goal, back 4 of Paulinho, Scholes, Shevchenko and Kuhls. Defensive midfield 2 of Onyenka and Madsen. Attacking midfield 3 of Mobil, Sisto and Dreyer. And up top is Kaba. Now, these 2 sides have still got plenty to fight for right now, of course. Ajax trying to fight for that second place in the group alongside Liverpool. And Midtjylland, if they get a result tonight, potentially they've still got an inside shout of getting out of the group stages. Who do you think is going to take the result tonight, though?
Ajax would be your favourites. They should be. On paper, they are the better side, but I've watched Midtjylland quite a couple of times, and they do play well. They press teams. They try to wear them down. It hasn't really massively paid off so far this tournament, but if Midtjylland can get the ball to Mobil, Dreyer, they can really create something. Dreyer had a great game the last time I watched him. Pione Sisto as well can create something if he's given the opportunity. It's all about just if Midtjylland can give Mobil, Sisto and Dreyer the ball and get it through to Kaba, I think they could do well. But again, you look at the side of Ajax, it's obviously not as good as it previously has, but that front 3 of Neres, Traore and Tadic is a very good front 3.
Certainly is indeed. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes tonight between Ajax and Midtjylland. Thank you very much, Rowan. As always, we will bring you back in a little bit when the goals do go flying in, because we are 2 minutes away from kickoff. So we're going to fly through these games as we go along. And here we go. As you can see on the screen on the right-hand side, it's a big game for Liverpool tonight. They battered Atalanta in their previous fixture. The question is, can they do it tonight? And to watch that game, of course, it's the Liverpool fan. It's Will. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you very much. Let's have a look at that Liverpool lineup. It's a 4-3-3 tonight for the home side at Anfield. Addison is in goal, back 4 of Shimikas, Matip, Williams, and the other Williams as well. 2 Williams at the back tonight. Midfield 3 of Milner, Wijnaldum, and Curtis Jones. And then up top is Mane, Origi, and Salah. And it's a 3-5-2 tonight for Atalanta. Galini's in goal, back 3 of Jim City, Romero, and Rafael Toloi. Midfield 5 on the left, it's Gosens. In the midfield 3, it's Freuler, Persinha, and De Bruyne. And on the right-hand side, it's Hatiboa. And then up top is Alejandro Gomez and Josip Ilicic. There is a lot of work tonight, Will, for Atalanta to do if they want to come out with a result in this game. As for Liverpool, it's quite a heavily changed lineup. It's a bit weaker than we would expect. But do you think tonight Liverpool will go out there and get the victory?
Yeah, if Liverpool win tonight, then obviously they qualify from the group. And I think after they beat Atalanta 5-0, they're going to come into this game with big confidence. I know that the squad's been rotated a bit. The back 4 is a bit, it's makeshift. It really is. But I still think Liverpool at home can get a result against Atalanta, who will be motivated because they need to get a win. They're still in the hunt to get that second place at least, so they'll be hungry to win tonight. But I think Liverpool can definitely close the deal tonight.
Certainly can do indeed. Thank you very much, Will. As always, we'll bring you back in a little bit when the goals do go in, because we have just kicked off with some of the games across the board tonight. But I'll just put respects to Maradona as well, of course. Sad to hear that he's passed away, and hopefully, of course, the footballing community coming together tonight after that shocking news about Maradona's passing. But let's move on to the other three games as we are about to kick off in a moment. Of course, I think a lot of games tonight, they'll have a moment of silence for Maradona with the whole situation of his passing, which is a real shame indeed. But we'll go to the game between Bayern Munich and Salzburg, because this one was an absolute barnstormer of a match the previous time these two sides played off. Bayern Munich, they were being held to a 2-2 draw after 70 minutes, and then they ran riot. The question is, will they do the same tonight? We'll have to find out, because watching that game is Kieran D. How are we doing, buddy?
Hello.
All good? Looking forward to the game?
Oh, I'm looking forward to the game. If we get anything like the game we got last time.
Oh, absolutely. It was a fantastic match indeed. And looking at the lineups tonight, very similar teams to that previous game. Bayern Munich going with a 4-2-3-1 tonight. Neuer is in goal, the back four of Chris Richards, Alaba, Boateng and Benjamin Pavard. Defensive midfield to Mark Roca and Goretzka. Attacking midfield three of Koeman, Muller and Gnabry. And then up top is Robert Lewandowski. And then it's a 4-4-1-1 / technically 4-4-2 tonight for Salzburg. Stankovic is in goal, back four of Ulmer, Vober, Ramalho and Christensen. Midfield four, Szoboszlai on the left wing, Junuzovic, Kamara in the middle, and Wepu on the right. And then up top tonight is Berisha and Koita. Quite a strong team for Bayern Munich tonight. Do you think Salzburg could potentially try and get another kind of shock result? You know, they were holding on for 70 minutes and ultimately just couldn't get a result at the end. But do you think tonight could be the night for them?
I think just the high pressing energy of football just kind of died down a little bit for Salzburg. They let themselves down a little bit after the 75th minute and Bayern ran away with it. It could be a similar thing tonight, Josh, but we'll have to wait and see. I think Bayern Munich are going to get the win, though.
Certainly we'll have to wait indeed, of course. Be interested to see how things go on as we have kicked off in some of the games tonight. Thank you very much, KD. We'll bring you back when the first opportunity comes, which no doubt will be fairly quickly in that match tonight. And another game, this is probably the biggest game of the night. Inter Milan taking on Real Madrid. You can see those lineups, not the strongest team for tonight for Real Madrid, but to keep his close eyes on tonight's match, it is Kieran L. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, pal. How are you?
Good. Fantastic, as always. Let's look at those two lineups before, I was about to say before the game kicks off. It already has. 3-5-2 for Inter tonight. Handanovic is in goal. Back three, Skriniar, De Vrij and Bastoni. Midfield five of Young on the left, Hakimi on the right, and then the midfield three of Barella, Gagliardini and Vidal. And then up top is Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. And it's a 4-3-3 for Real Madrid tonight. Courtois in goal, back four of Mendy, Nacho, Varane and Carvajal. Midfield three of Odegaard, Kroos and Modric. And up top is Eden Hazard, Mariano Diaz and Lucas Vazquez. And I think one thing to talk about there is how weak the attack looks tonight for Real Madrid. Hazard, Mariano and Lucas Vazquez. Not strong, is it?
No, not at all. There's definitely been rotation from the normal Real Madrid attack and team that you'd see. And maybe they have to, because so far in this tournament, neither of these two teams have showered themselves in glory. It's weird to be coming into match week 4 and saying for these two teams that it's a must-win game. But with this group and Gladbach's streak of wins in this group, these two need to pick up a victory now to try and secure that second or even top spot. So be interesting to see how they match up. But as you say, seeing the likes of Mariano and Vazquez up front, it's not what you'd usually see from a Madrid side.
Certainly isn't indeed. It's going to be a big test for Real Madrid tonight, as is going to be a big test for Inter Milan. They've got a lot of work to do, both sides, if they want to get through to the knockout stage of the Champions League. Thank you very much, Kieran L, as always. We've just had a few opportunities in this match already between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow. It could have quite easily been 2 to Atletico Madrid. João Felix with a ball that was spread into the box from Marcus Llorente. He really should have finished it. The ball is kept in play, and then Carrasco takes an effort from just inside the box on the left wing, and it just curls wide of the mark. So big chance there for Atletico Madrid to take the lead. And as you can see, there's one more game to talk about before, of course, we do keep our eyes out across the board tonight. Marseille playing off against Porto. Remember, Marseille haven't scored a goal yet in the Champions League. They're the only side to have not scored in this Champions League campaign so far. 4-3-3 for the French side tonight at home. Mandanda is in goal, the back four of Jordan Amavi, Balerdi, Alvaro and Sakai. Midfield three of Morgan Sanson, Kamara and Rongier. And then up top is Luis Enrique, Germain and Tau Van. They are missing Benedetto tonight, which is a big loss indeed. And then it's a 4-4-2 tonight for Porto. Marquesin is in goal. Sanusi, Sarr, and Bemba and Manafa make up the back four for Porto. Midfield four of Otavio, Corona, Sergio Oliveira, and Grigic, of course, on loan from Liverpool. And then up top is Luis Diaz and Marega. It'll be interesting to see how those do tonight. Of course, Marega being a taller striker, and Diaz not technically being a striker, more notably known as a winger. And as I said, we are now underway across the board in tonight's Champions League fixtures. We will probably be around 4 to 5 minutes into some of these games tonight. And to quickly run you through who's watching each game, for those of you that have just joined, I'm going to be covering Atletico Madrid against Lokomotiv Moscow tonight. Kieran L is watching the game between Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Will is watching the game between Liverpool and Atalanta. Marseille Porto is another one I'll be keeping my close eyes out on. Ajax and Midtjylland is being watched by Rowan. And Bayern Red Bull Salzburg is being watched by Kieran D. So keep your eyes out indeed, because we should hopefully have plenty of drama tonight across the board. I think there's some big games going on. I think the biggest one of the night is Inter Real Madrid. I think Liverpool Atalanta's up there. And well, just as I talk about that game, there is a penalty in the game between Inter and Real Madrid early on. The question is, who has got the penalty? Kieran L?
It's Real Madrid, and Nacho finds himself in the opposition box. He's usually the one doing the defending, but he picks up the ball from an Odegaard pass, and Barella comes from behind, tries to nick the ball, but he goes through the leg of Nacho Fernandez to get to the ball. And for me, there's no doubt that that's a penalty, and I think even if VAR reviews it, it will be given. So could be a rough start for Inter Milan.
Could be a very rough start indeed. I've just seen the call now. It's the right decision in the end, isn't it? Really, not much the referee can do about that.
No, Barella claims his innocence, saying he's come in and the guy's kicking. It's a penalty. All ends up. You're going to complain, but Hazard steps up to the spot to take the penalty, and it's that moment of silence, Josh, that we all know and love.
It is indeed. Question is, how long is it going to take Eden Hazard to take this penalty? We'll find out. But big chance here for Real Madrid to take an early lead in this match.
It is, and it puts Inter Milan in a really rough spot in the group. Bottom on 2 points that'd leave them if things stayed. If they scored this and it stayed the same. Hazard steps up, slots it past Handanovic to his right. It's a decent penalty, not fully in the corner, but out of the reach of Handanovic.
Good chance there, and it's well and coolly slotted away by the man who's tried to, of course, rekindle his Real Madrid career. He's been struggling since he joined from Chelsea. Eden Hazard, and he's got Real Madrid off to the perfect start. 4 minutes on the clock. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. It is 1-0 to Real Madrid on the night, and we are having a plethora of chances in this game for Atletico Madrid against Lokomotiv Moscow, and somehow, again, Atletico Madrid haven't been able to put themselves 1-0 up in this match, and it was a ball from the left wing from Yannick Carrasco. Just tries to flick a ball into the path. And it actually looked like it was trying to get towards, I think it was Angel Correa in the box there, just trying to get to touch the ball at the near post. Calls for a handball, but nothing is given in the end, and it's the right decision there from the referee, and it's eventually gone out of play for a goal kick. So a good chance there in the match for Atletico Madrid. They've had a good few early opportunities in this game to take the lead. But more importantly, who's taken the lead in that match between Inter and Real Madrid? It's Real Madrid with a 1-0 lead early on, which means, as you'll be able to see on your screen in a moment, when I get it up, there we go, as you can see right now, this is how the table stands in the group. And as Kieran perfectly said, it does mean Inter Milan goes to the bottom of the group on 2 points. Shakhtar stay in third place on 4 points. Real Madrid into second on 7, and Gladbach on top with 8 points. Of course, Gladbach winning their game 4-0 against Shakhtar earlier on. Very, very good result indeed. Of course, really great start for Gladbach, dominating in their group so far. And Inter Milan, they've got a lot of work to do because time is running out. They could potentially not even get the Europa League spot, which would be quite crazy indeed. And I think there'd be a few nerves going about in terms of Antonio Conte's position at the club, depending on their league form, of course. But let's have a look at the other groups as well. As you can see, in Group A, it currently stands Bayern Munich leading the group on 10 points, with that 5-point gap between themselves and Atletico Madrid. And if Lokomotiv Moscow can come out with a result tonight, it would be massive for the group because it would actually put them potentially towards that second place spot and really make it hard for Atletico Madrid, considering they do have to play Bayern Munich at some point again before the end of this match days before the end of match day 6, of course. But we will have a look at the groups in a second because we've had the first chance of the night in the game between Liverpool and Atalanta. And of course, it was a drubbing last time Liverpool they played Atalanta. We're now at Anfield. The question is, Will, is it Liverpool starting on the front foot?
No, it was a chance for Atalanta. Do you know what? These first 8 minutes or so, Atalanta have actually been the better side. You can tell they're wanting to go out there and get a result. And it was just an over-the-top through ball. And in behind was Gossens. Got him behind the Liverpool defence and young right-back Neco Williams. And he took the shot pretty early on. And Alisson nearly caught Alisson out. It looked like, I think Alisson was expecting to shoot across his body. But he put it towards the near post. And Alisson just got a strong right hand to it and pushed it down the post for a corner. But it nearly crept in. And Atalanta, the first 10 minutes have looked really good here. Liverpool needs to steady the ship with the younger team that they've out tonight. But 10 minutes gone, it's still 0-0.
Thank you very much, Will. As always, Liverpool 0, Atalanta 0. Liverpool, of course, as I said before, they got an absolute drubbing against Atalanta last time. They spanked them up, you could probably say, by a good couple of goals. And Atalanta tonight, they'll be looking hungry to try and make sure that doesn't happen again in the match. And just looking at the chance now, it's a really, really good opportunity, which was lobbed into the box. And of course, Liverpool got some work to do early on in this part of the game so far. But let's go over to Kieren D, because there's been a chance in his game between Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg. Who started on the front foot, Kieren?
Do you know what, Josh? It's been a very even game. I'm not going to lie. Both teams nicely poised, but it's Bayern Munich who have the first chance, as you would expect at their ground. They've started quite lively, but Salzburg had good spells in the game. But yeah, the chance was whipped in by Colin Richards, the young left back that Bayern Munich are starting tonight. It took a deflection, and it comes to Serge Gnabry in the edge of the box, and he hits it on the volley. Sweet as you like, and it looks like it's nestling in that top right-hand corner. Really good chance, but it just goes wide.
Very good chance indeed. Thank you very much, KD. As always, it's Bayern 0, Red Bull Salzburg 0, because we're going to be going straight back over to Will now, because there's been another chance in his game between Liverpool and Atalanta. The question is it another Atalanta chance, Will, or is Liverpool trying to get back into the game?
It's another Atalanta chance, and again, Liverpool's defence is caught napping. Gossens, who had the chance earlier, he dispossesses Neco Williams, who gets a bit lacklustre with the ball, and then Papu Gomez drives up Matip. He gets to the edge of the box. It looks like he's about to whip it into the bottom corner, but he just completely mishits it, and it just kind of trickles out for a goalkeeper. Another big chance for Atalanta to make it 1-0, but chance wasn't taken. Now Liverpool have got a free kick here. Ooh, just punched through by the goalkeeper. Yeah, 11 minutes gone. This game is very, very lively.
Thank you very much, Will. As always, very lively start indeed between Liverpool and Atalanta. And what a very lively start it's been between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow. They are dominating the game right now, Atletico Madrid, but they just can't quite seem to get the opening goal in the match. And it was Marcos Llorente on the right wing. He drives forward, gets past two defenders, eventually lays the ball off into the path of Angel Correa, who takes the shot just towards the right wing, inside the box. It's a curling effort, trying to get it towards that top left-hand corner, and somehow it's not gone into the back of the net. The goalkeeper tips it over Guilherme, and now we've got a corner here, which Renan Lodi is going to whip into the box, trying to get it towards the path of Jimenez. Comes out on the half volley. What a chance that was there. Real big opportunity for Marcos Llorente to put Atletico Madrid into the lead, but ultimately it's cleared away in the end. We are going to go over to KD because there has been a chance in this game once again between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. He said a few moments ago, but it's a very lively start. It looks like it's continued. Who's had the chance now, Kieren?
Yeah, it was another chance for Bayern Munich, and this time it's the man you want the chances to fall to, Robert Lewandowski. It's nicked back by Kingsley Coman inside his own half, and he just plays a good ball to Lewandowski just outside the area, and he hits it on his right foot. You think it's nestling top corner, but it just goes wide again. But Bayern Munich are threatening here. Josh, Salzburg are really in trouble.
They've got a lot of work to do indeed, the Austrian side. Thank you very much, Kieran D. As always, they conceded 6 goals the last time they played against Bayern Munich, and now they've got to play them at their own ground. No pressure tonight on Red Bull Salzburg. We're going to go over to KL because there's been a chance of this game. It's the only game of the night so far with a goal in terms of the 8 p.m. kickoffs. Real Madrid took an early lead courtesy of Eden Hazard from an early penalty. The question is, have Inter been getting back into the match, Kieren, or is it another chance for Real Madrid?
Inter haven't got themselves back into the match. It's definitely been all Real Madrid so far, and they've just hit the post with the chance, Josh. It was Carvajal outside the box on the right-hand side. I've got to say about 20 to 25 yards out. He hits it across into Handanovic's right side, but he just connects with the post. Handanovic unmoved.
Big chance indeed there for Real Madrid to double their lead. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. Lots of pressure tonight on Inter Milan to go out there and get a result. But right now, it looks like Real Madrid could do the business over them tonight. We said that front three was fairly weak, but they seem to be doing quite well right now in this match early on. Looks like there could be a plethora of opportunities in that match. And, well, Inter Milan got a lot of work to do indeed. Still 1-0 to Real Madrid in that match as it currently stands because of Eden Hazard slotting that early penalty home in the game. Very, very good start to that match indeed. And we've got a chance here for Lokomotiv Moscow to drive forward on the wings. It's a ball played from Zeluis into the path of Ignatiev, trying to come forward on the right-hand side of the pitch right now. And it's been a very slow start indeed, as you would expect from Lokomotiv Moscow. Going to have a lot of work to do tonight if they want to break down Atletico Madrid at home, who have an incredible record. And, of course, if you've been watching the league over the last few weeks, you will know that they are currently on a 27-game unbeaten run in the league. And they, of course, beat Barcelona at the weekend in a very good 1-0 win. So a lot of pressure on Lokomotiv Moscow tonight to go out there and try and break down this really, really consistent Atletico Madrid side indeed. But we are going to go over to Rowan now because we've had the first chance of the night in his game between Ajax and FC Midtjylland. It's a big one for these two boys, of course, with Liverpool and Atalanta facing off against each other. But the question is, Rowan, who's had that first big chance of the game?
It's Ajax, but it's an incredible save by Jensen. David Neres passes it through to Klassen. Klassen plays it back to him on the wing, and then he just blazes down the wing, squares it, and just across the face of goal. Labyad is open. Labyad takes a shot. He's done everything he has to do. Straight in the middle of the box, hits straight at the centre of goal, and Jensen comes all the way across and makes a lovely, lovely save, and it's cleared eventually by Midtjylland, but great save by Jensen there to keep Hansen to keep him in the game.
Thank you very much, Rowan. Indeed, what a save that was. I've just seen it on my screen right now. Where really, really good opportunities for Ajax to take the lead. How they're not 1-0 up, I don't know. But Jensen there with a big save, making sure Midtjylland can stay in the match. So good to see there, of course. A very good start to the games indeed across the board, because we've had another chance in the games between Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg. Kieran D, who's had the chance this time?
Well, speaking of how aren't teams 1-0 up, Salzburg should be 1-0 up, Josh. What a glorious opportunity. They had two in the space of about 2 seconds. It was a poor back pass from Malaru. Koita just latched onto it, ran through, played through Berisha, who scored in the other leg, the return fixture, of this game, and he just taps it to Neuer, and he parries it out, and it comes back to Koita, and he doesn't get a good enough hit on it. It should be 1-0 to Salzburg, a massive chance to put pressure on Lokomotiv Moscow and Atletico Madrid tonight, but they could have even put more pressure on them by going 1-0 up at the Allianz.
Very good chance indeed. Thank you very much, KD. As always, Bayern Munich 0, Red Bull Salzburg 0. Very good start to the matches tonight indeed. A plethora of chances across the board, because we're going to go over to Kieren because there's been a chance in his game. Plenty of chances tonight. Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 1. A lot of work for Inter to do. Are they getting back into the game, Kieran?
Nope, still not been in the game, and it's another Real Madrid chance. And this one, to be fair, it's just poor decision making. It's a beautiful interception by Ferland Mendy from a really sloppy pass cross-field by Vidal. He does a lovely 1-2 with Martin Odegaard. He's through on goal. He just has to put it past the keeper. He tries to square it. He is a left-back, I understand, but he's squaring it to absolutely nobody because it's a poor ball, and he should have just hit it past Handanovic. It's a golden opportunity, but it's still 1-0. Inter are living very, very dangerously.
They are indeed right now. They've got a lot of work to do into living a very, very high, well, not very exactly high life right now. The bottom of the league, they need to live a high life if they want to get through, because they've got to break that points gap between themselves and Real Madrid in second. But as for now, thank you very much, KL, as always. Real Madrid still in the lead, courtesy of that early Eden Hazard penalty. Still somehow the only goal of the night, although we've had a plethora of opportunities across the board, because we are going to go back to KD, because there's been another chance of the game between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. Who's he for this time, Kieran?
Well, the Bayern Munich defence is at 6s and 7s here. Again, another chance for Salzburg. It's this time Szoboszlai puts a fantastic ball in, where it just flicks it into the box with the outside of his foot. And Berisha has a free header inside the box, and he just heads it wide. I mean, if it should have been 1-0 a minute ago, it definitely should be 1-0 now.
So, still somehow we've not had a goal in all the games apart from Real Madrid. Thank you very much, KD. As always, this game we should have had at least one goal in it between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. Plenty of opportunities for both sides early on to get a lead in this match. Specifically, of course, as you would expect, more Bayern Munich with the plethora of early opportunities in this game. But we are about 15 minutes in towards tonight's match. There's still only one goal on the board. Let's have a quick look at the chat, see what you guys are doing. How are we doing? Kyle, he says, hey all, welcome to the stream as always, Kyle. Good to see you in the stream as always, buddy. Nice to see the recognisable faces in the stream. And if you are new to the stream, of course, and you have enjoyed the Goal Show so far, do leave a like, subscription is always greatly appreciated in terms of giving us a sub to the channel. But in terms of goals right now in the Champions League, we are lacking goals big time. There's only been one goal tonight so far in the first 20 minutes of action. Real Madrid 1-0 up against Inter Milan with that Eden Hazard penalty. As for every other game across the board, we are still currently 0-0. That includes the likes of Liverpool taking on Atalanta, Marseille 0, Porto 0, Ajax 0, FC Midtjylland 0, and Bayern 0, Red Bull Salzburg 0. Somehow that hasn't had a goal in the match yet. So a little bit quiet tonight across the board, which certainly isn't a bad thing because we've had plenty of opportunities, just not as many goals as we would like to have seen in these fixtures. But let's go quickly back to the groups again, because not much of it would change right now because most games are over draw, but you can kind of get a rough idea of how these groups are looking. And as we said before, Group A is ridiculously close, apart from Bayern Munich, who are pretty much safe to go through to the next round, no matter what happens, let's be honest. Atletico Madrid in second place on 5 points. They've got to go out there and get a win tonight to really bridge a gap between themselves and the likes of Lokomotiv Moscow and Salzburg. Because if either of those two teams wins tonight, specifically Lokomotiv over Salzburg, then it's going to get very tight in match day 5 and match day 6, considering Atletico Madrid do have to play Bayern Munich again at some point, which they lost to 4-0. Were absolutely battered in their previous game. So a lot of work to do tonight for Atletico Madrid. This is the most crucial game of their Champions League season so far. Of course, Group B doesn't change right now. Real Madrid and Inter playing. Inter still sat bottom of the group on 2 points. If Real Madrid do win tonight, then it's looking like pretty much that their beliefs of getting through to the knockout stage of the Champions League will be dead and buried, considering they still have to play off against Shakhtar and Gladbach, so no pressure there. Manchester City already through to the next round tonight after a 1-0 win against Olympiacos. It means that if Porto can get a victory tonight, it will pretty much cement their place in the knockout stages. It'll be Marseille and Olympiacos fighting for that Europa League knockout spot. And then in Group D, the final group, Liverpool, top of the group right now. If they win tonight, it will definitely cement their place in the knockout stages of the Champions League. It is all then down to what Ajax and Atalanta can do. If Ajax win tonight, it'll make things interesting, but it will be even more interesting if Atalanta beat Liverpool, because that will then well and truly open this group. It'll open it wide open. And if Midtjylland can beat Ajax tonight, it will make it even more open. But, well, let's find out what happens across the board, because we've got plenty of action still to come in tonight's fixtures across the board. And we'll keep you updated when the goals do go in on how the groups will be looking. For those of you that are wondering with yesterday's action, how the groups are looking there, Chelsea and Sevilla already through to the next rounds of the Champions League, both getting 90th minute winners in their previous game yesterday. So certainly good indeed for those two sides to get some late winners and go through to the next stage of the competition. Krasnodar and Rennes fighting for that Europa League spot. In Group F, it's Dortmund and Lazio starting to bridge themselves a gap between themselves and third place Bruges. We could see those two teams confirmed in the next round to be going through to the knockout stage of the Champions League. Group G, it is Barca and Juventus already through to the next round of the competition. Ferencváros and Dinamo Kiev fighting for that Europa League spot. Group H, of course, the last group, is very tight indeed. Manchester United with a foothold in that group as it currently stands. PSG and Leipzig have still got plenty of work to do because Istanbul are only 3 points behind them. And if Istanbul could win their last two games, which is going to be quite tough to do, they could still finish in second and get into the knockout stages. But I guess there's still work to do because PSG and Leipzig, they're not going to back down, are they, if we're being honest? So that's how all the groups look. And in terms of the goals tonight, we are lacking big time. 22 minutes on the clock. We've only had one goal on the night so far. So very quiet indeed. And hopefully we can get a few more chances before the end of these first halves of action. We're only technically halfway through the first half. And going back to this game between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow, they've been dominating Atletico Madrid. And they're just coming forward on this right-hand side of the pitch. It's Yannick Ferreira Carrasco, who scored against Barcelona, flicks the ball into the box, trying to get towards the path of João Felix, but eventually it's cleared away by veteran Chorluka. And it goes out of play for a corner. And this is another big chance for the side of playing at the Wanda Metropolitano to potentially get themselves the early goal in the game. Aqua's asked in the chat, if Real Madrid lose, do they come to Europa League? If they finish third in the group, then they'll go to the Europa League. But as for now, they're currently sat in second. So we won't be seeing them going into the Europa League. They go into the knockout stages. But we've still got 2 more match days to go. And we nearly had an absolutely fantastic goal in this game. What an opportunity it was. It was a back heel from Angel Correa, trying to flick the ball into João Felix, who rises highest, gets his hand to the ball, but Miranchuk with a slight deflection means we're going to get another corner here in the match for Atletico Madrid. Can they make the most of this opportunity? Ball's lobbed into the box from Correa. Comes down towards the path of, oh my lord, Vejan Chaluka nearly tapping it into his own net. He's going to come back here for Atletico Madrid. Ball sprayed into the box towards João Felix. Long-range effort, and what a save that is from Guilherme. Oh, wow, that was a massive save. Yannick Carrasco with a 35-yard effort. What a save from Guilherme towards the right-hand side of the post. He gets, he dives low. And a really, really good chance indeed. That's punched away from his goal. And somehow it's still 0-0 in this match. Casper, John Flores have gone nominated for the Puskás Award for his goal against Shamrock Rovers earlier this year. It'll be great for him in the League of Ireland if he won, but he won't win it. And I mean, I looked at the Puskás, the goals up for the award. Gignac's up there for the award because he's the greatest French striker that's ever played football apart from Giroud. Really good goal he scored. Of course, Flores with an incredible goal himself, which the technique for his volley is unrivaled. I think Diaz Arrasqueta, who's usually up for it every year, he's in there for a bicycle kick. I think it was similar to Wayne Rooney's bicycle kick against Manchester City. Really, really good effort. And then I think there was a few more up there. Son's goal against Burnley was up there for the award. I think that one's a spectacular goal. And then there was a few women's players up for the award too, which, of course, their goals are quite interesting ones. A few decent goals, actually, from them, not going to lie. Could they potentially get the award? I mean, it'd be the first women player to win the Puskás Award, but there's some incredible goals indeed. But let's go over to KD, because there's been a dangerous free kick in his match so far between Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg. The question is, who's had that free kick, Kieran?
Well, it's for Salzburg, and it's right-hand side of the penalty area. A good chance to get a ball inside the box, and I mean, they've been threatening for a few minutes now, and I mean, Manuel Neuer just picked up a yellow card for rushing out of his goal when the throw-in was given, and he absolutely clattered someone from the throw-in. It's come back in from the free kick, and if Christensen gets a foot on that, I think that might have been a goal. But yeah, back to the Neuer yellow card. He came rushing out when someone was in on goal. He belted out for a throw-in, and to stop the person taking the throw-in quickly, he just pushed them over and bounced into the back of them and got a yellow card for it. I mean, it was silly from Neuer in the first place to be rushing out. I know he's that kind of erratic goalkeeper, but it was just a really poor goalkeeping choice. And Bayern Munich have not started the best here.
They haven't indeed. He makes it for a very interesting game, though, because Red Bull Salzburg gave them a very good 70 minutes of action before. Can they do the same tonight? We'll have to find out indeed. But thank you very much, KD, as always. He's still by 0. Red Bull Salzburg 0. Manuel Neuer going into the book with a early yellow card, which is quite rare for a goalkeeper. But he's in the book anyway, a bit erratic, as you would expect from the sweeper keeper. We've got a free kick here in the game between Atletico Madrid and Moscow. About 35 yards out towards the left wing. Renan Lodi standing over this free kick. He's going to launch the ball into the box towards the path of João Felix, who just couldn't get his hand onto the ball. Savic going up for it as well. He misses the ball too, so there's 2 players going for it at once. They kind of both collide into each other. And in the end, the referee has given it as a free kick to Lokomotiv Moscow. Free kick. I think Savic pushing over one of the defenders in the box. And just looking at it now, it's the right decision in the end there from the referee. Good decision there. But yeah, talking about that Puskás Award, there's some good goals in there. I think Sons will certainly be up there for the award. Incredible goal indeed from him in the Burnley game. And I've got to say in the chat, if you've seen the Puskás goals, what's your favourite one? Do tell us in the chat. Do you think maybe it could be someone like Son? Do you think maybe we could see a women's winner for the first time in quite some time? You'll have to tell us in the chat indeed, but we'll find out. And if you haven't checked them out, they're well worth checking out because there's a few fairly decent goals in there. But Sasha's put, hello, my friends. How are you? Good to see you in the stream as always, Sasha. Thank you very much for joining us. Very, very greatly appreciated indeed. Nice to see, of course, all the regular faces in the stream. But we've got a chance here for Atletico Madrid. Ball lobbed over towards the path of Marcus Llorente. Good save there. He's hit it towards the bottom right-hand corner of the post for Guilherme, and he just pushes it away from his goal. Big chance there for Marcus Llorente, who could have probably had 2 or 3 goals in this game after 20 minutes. And, well, we know he plays about 600 different positions, and he's playing on the right mid tonight, and he's done very, very well indeed. But still, somehow, we haven't got a goal in this game. As we've not had a goal in the rest of the other games. We've still only had 1 goal on the night so far after half an hour, and that is the goal from Eden Hazard early on with the penalty that was given to them after Nacho Fernandez was fouled. So half an hour nearly into these fixtures, 1 goal across the 6 games. It's not been the greatest of goal shows tonight indeed, and it's been a fairly quiet night of action so far. But coming back to this Atletico Madrid game, we've got Atletico Madrid coming forward once again, as you would expect, and it's going to be Koke in the midfield, driving the ball forward, going to spray it towards the left wing where Carrasco is. Some lovely, neat football here from the... Actually, it was really poor there. I thought the Belgian was going to try and get around the defence. He just couldn't get around Marcel Ribas, and eventually Ribas is able to clear the ball away, but it's come back to Atletico Madrid. And they're going to try and get on the attack, but nothing comes of it in the end. And Sasha's put in the chat, sad day for football. It is indeed. Of course, the whole Maradona news is certainly come to a shock to everyone. It's a shame to hear of his passing, one of football's greatest players of all time. And, of course, he will be sorely missed by a lot of people, known as the incredible Argentinian that he was. Great time at Napoli, great time at Barcelona. Incredible for his country, and he'll always be remembered for stunning goals and stunning moments that no doubt will be remembered for a long, long time indeed. And well, we've got calls here for a penalty in this game. Yannick Carrasco going down in the box, nothing being given in the end, and it was actually Chorluka who looked like he maybe could have potentially fouled Yannick Ferreira Carrasco, but nothing is given in the end. And of course, Kieran's reminding me of the chat as well. Heavy D passed away today, which is very unfortunate indeed. Of course, a legend of Arsenal fan TV. He will be missed. Of course, sad to hear a few footballing deaths today. Really is a sad day in football. But we've got plenty more games going on right now. Of course, you can see Atletico Madrid 0, Lokomotiv Moscow 0, Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 1, Liverpool 0, Atalanta 0, Marseille 0, Porto 0, Ajax 0, Magicula 0, and Bayern 0, Red Bull Salzburg 0. So still not really many goals across the board tonight. But it's sad, isn't it, with the Heavy D situation? If you don't know who Heavy D was, by the way, he was a very big person in the community. Arsenal fan TV, you'll probably know him if you're in the UK. Very recognisable. Was on Celebrity Big Brother as well. He's quite recognisable in the Arsenal community. So it's sad to hear, of course, him pass away today. We've got a free kick here for Lokomotiv Moscow. They got a chance here to get a goal in this match and really open the scoring. Ignatiev going to flick a ball into the box, gets it towards Chorluka, but in the end, there is going to be a free kick given to Atletico Madrid. Chorluka fouling somebody in the box, which is not good at all. Savic being fouled this time over Chorluka, which it was, of course, Chorluka being fouled by Savic before. So a bit of an interesting situation between those two defenders, kind of pushing and nudging each other over the park right now. But interesting game, 31 minutes on the clock. 0-0 as it currently stands between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow. And we've still got 14 minutes left of action across the board tonight. But do put your memories in the chat of Diego Maradona. Of course, if you're a bit of an older fan and you appreciate some of the Maradona memories of the past, I mean, he will always be remembered for the goal at the World Cup. That's the one goal that he'll always be remembered for. He was an incredible player on his day. Absolutely exceptional player on his day. And it's a shame because it is one of those where I think if he was alive today and you were able to see him live, he probably would be up there with some of the greatest footballers of all time in terms of just how naturally good he was. And I think even today, the kind of way he was moulded as a player, he would fit into today's footballing world so perfectly. But we're going to go over to Kieren because there's been a red card in the game between Inter Milan and Real Madrid. And if I had to put my money on any player getting sent off on the pitch tonight, it would probably be a man who is no stranger to yellow cards and red cards. I'm going to guess Arturo Vidal. Has by any chance, Kieran, there been a red card to Inter Milan, or is it to Real Madrid?
It's a red card for Arturo Vidal. And
unbelievable.
It's 2 yellows for moaning at the ref. They're both for the exact same thing. He did go down. He went down in the box because he thought he'd been tripped by Rafa Varane. In his protesting, of course, he has protested, flamboyantly. It's fair to say. We all know what Vidal's like. And he's been double yellowed for protesting twice, and that's Anthony Taylor who sent him off. So, interesting one. I mean, if you want to stamp out moaning at the ref, then that's a good way to do it.
Certainly is indeed, but it looks like Inter Milan's night is going to go from bad to worse here. Yeah,
it is. I think a double yellow for moaning at the ref. And I'm talking, they were at the same time as well. It moaned at him, yellow. Continued to moan, yellow, off. I mean, it's Anthony Taylor's decision. It's always a little bit harsh, but I don't know what he said. It depends what he said, doesn't it? So
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now, and it's literally 10 seconds after the original yellow cards come out. He must have said something, and he's given the red card straight away. And I mean, I assume there's probably going to be a few protests here from Vidal. He's certainly that type of character to not leave the pitch without a fight.
Yeah, he does get in and get quite close to Anthony Taylor's face. Not in squaring up to him. I don't want to say squaring up to him because that's not what it was, but very close to Anthony Taylor's face. And that's what's given the red card. I think it's a real shame because I feel like this game's going to be very, very different now.
Certainly is indeed. But as I said, Inter Milan's night goes from bad to worse already. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 1. Inter is what I need to put on the screen, down to 10 men. Of course, a lot of work to do there in that match. So I'm going to very quickly change that. And thank you, of course, Kieran, as always. We'll no doubt be back with a few more opportunities now. Inter down to 10 men. And Real Madrid have that extra man advantage. But let's go over to Kieran D now, because there's been a chance in his game between Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg. Who's had the chance this time? Kieran D.
Well, Josh, I know you've said there's not been many goals tonight, but this really should have a goal in it, this game. And Salzburg have just had the easiest chance to put themselves 1-0 up again at the Allianz. Literally, Dominik Szoboszlai is putting one-on-one with Manuel Neuer from a fantastic pass from Berisha. He is one-on-one with Neuer. Easier to score than miss. All the goal to him, and he shanks it over the crossbar. What an opportunity for Salzburg.
Big chance indeed for Szoboszlai there. Thank you very much, KD, as always. Bayern 0, Red Bull Salzburg 0. What a chance it was. He should have put it into the back of the net. Somehow, he's missed it. And we could have been saying Red Bull Salzburg 1-0 up against Bayern Munich, but unfortunately we're not. And somehow, still, after 35 minutes of the night, we've only had one goal, which is absolutely incredible indeed. But look at the chat right now. Of course, Bernaldo putting the double yellow for Vidal. John said, everyone used to call me Maradona. Hey, that's an interesting name there. We like to see that. Kaz put, no disrespect to the ladies nominated, but in my opinion, Stephanie Rush should have become the first women's winner of the podcast 5 years ago, but she didn't win. I was disappointed she didn't win. I mean, as I said, the goals that the women's have scored, there's actually a few decent goals in there. Well worth checking out, of course, because there's a few exquisite ones. They might win the Puskas Award, to be fair, but I think Gignac's going to win it because I'm a big Gignac fan, and I think Gignac's goal is incredible. But as I said, who knows with the women? It'd be interesting to see if one of them do win it because, as I said, the fact that a woman hasn't won the Puskas Award yet is mad, isn't it, when you think about it? We should have had a winner by now, but as I said, there's a few good goals in there, well worth checking out. And then, but as put, Anthony Taylor is a bit harsh in my opinion with the double yellow. I think I've got to say I agree with you in that. I don't know how Anthony Taylor's given that as 2 yellow cards instantly. It's literally 10 seconds after the first yellow card was given out to Vidal, but God knows it's Anthony Taylor, isn't it? It's a British ref. They're all pretty shy these days. But it is, of course, Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 1. And that has been the game of the night so far. Why? Because the only game that's had a goal, but I think you could put Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg up there as well because they've had a plethora of opportunities in that match so far. But KD still somehow hasn't seen a goal in that match, which is crazy when you think about it because I thought we would have a few goals in that game so far. But if you have enjoyed the goal show so far, we've not really had any goals. We've had one goal on the night. But if you have enjoyed it, then do leave a like and a subscription as always. It's very greatly appreciated. We are about, I think, 7 or 8 subscribers away from 1,300. So it's definitely greatly appreciated if you do leave a subscription. Of course, we've got plenty more content to come on the channel. We have the goal show back next week for the Champions League. Some big games are going on. And of course, we have plenty of other sporting content as well, including the likes of wrestling and F1 that is covered on this channel. But Kieran Murray's in the stream. He says, hello, welcome along to the stream, Kieran. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoy your stay on the channel. But we've got a corner that's lofted into the box here in the game between Atletico Madrid and Moscow. The ball was guided in. Eventually, it was punched away by Guilherme. It's out for another corner for Atletico Madrid. Can they make the most of this opportunity? Ball's going to be lofted into the box by, I think it's going to be Saul. Flicks it towards the path of Savic. It's cleared away in the end, and the referee is going to give a free kick in advantage to Lokomotiv Moscow. Savic with a foul on Chorluka. This has been the running theme of the night. Both of these players just grappling each other over this last 35, 40 minutes, and they don't seem to want to let go of each other, which is quite scary. Kieran Murray said, don't worry, Bayern will score in a minute. Let's see if you're right, of course. I think we probably will score fairly soon. It's been a pretty decent game so far, although somehow it still hasn't had a goal in it. And then, of course, Ajax Midtjylland still 0-0 in that game. We've had one major opportunity in the match, which was for Ajax. Somehow, Midtjylland's goalkeeper Hansen was able to keep the ball out of the back of the net. It was a really, really good opportunity. And then Marseille 0, Porto 0. Not really heard much about this game tonight so far. Marseille, the only side in the Champions League this season to have not scored a goal. Are they going to be able to change that tonight? We'll have to find out indeed, but they currently sit bottom of their group, I believe, on 0 points. And just as I say that, we have the first goal of the night. That is in the game between Marseille and Porto. And just as I said, the fact that Marseille hadn't scored a goal, well, that run is going to continue on because it's 1-0 to Porto. The ball, it came actually from set piece. The ball whipped into the box, and it was all the way down into the path of, I think it was, I'm trying to look who it is there. I think it was Zafana, the left back, that got a touch on the ball there. And it has gone into the back of the net. And just to make sure it is, I believe in this situation, it is Mafana, the right back, who gets his head onto the ball. It comes down in the end. It rebounds out to him from a save from Mandanda. He's able to tap the ball into the back of the net straight afterwards. And it's 1-0 to FC Porto on the night. Of course, remember, Porto only need, they need the win tonight. And that will cement their place in the next round of the Champions League, which is certainly good for Porto. And they're doing exactly what they need to. 1-0 Porto in that match so far. And good to see that we've had a second goal because it's been a fairly dross 40 minutes of action in terms of the lack of goals. But looking at the chat right now, Kyle's saying Gladbach doing well so far. Do you see them going through? Yeah, I think they're going through, to be honest. I'd be very surprised if they don't get out of the group with 8 points. They look bright. They look enigmatic. You know, they scored 11 goals between 2 games against Shakhtar, which is quite scary when you think about it. And just overall, a really good team, full of confidence right now. And I think we will probably see them go through to the next round, no problems. It's then just a case of, is it going to be Inter or Real Madrid? Or are we maybe going to see Shakhtar somehow backdoor it and get themselves into the Europa League game? God knows with that situation. And then Sasha's put, how is it going with Ajax? Not really had many chances in that game. I said we've had one opportunity in that game so far. It was a good chance for Labiad, which he put into the, it was a shot on target inside the box, and Hansen made a very, very good save indeed. So we're still 0-0 in that match so far. Kieran's put, do you do this with the Europa League as well? We don't tend to usually do this with the Europa League. We usually pick out one game a week to keep our eyes out on the Europa League. And then on the side of that match, we keep you up to date with the goals. So technically, it's kind of half and half of what we usually do. But it could be something that we're going to look at, maybe looking to doing in the future, of course, because it's been quite a really good season so far in the Europa League, you have to say. Plenty of goals, which makes it interesting indeed. But we do some Europa League watch-alongs, but not necessarily the gold show like this. But maybe we might look into it at some point. And then Rona's put in the chat for me to keep you updated, Sasha, with the Ajax game. It's been all Ajax. There's been some rare Midtjylland counters, but not really much going on for the away side. As you probably would expect, Ajax are a dominant team when they want to be. But we've got 5 minutes left of the first half of action. Not much going on tonight across the board. It's still a fairly dead evening, but we have got a goal in the game between Bayern Munich and Salzburg. Have Bayern Munich taken the lead, or Salzburg giving us a shot victory tonight? Kieran D.
Well, Bayern Munich are in front, and it's all Red Bull Salzburg's fault, to be honest. They should be 1-0 ahead, Josh. Architects are on downfall, give it away in their own half again. Lewandowski flicked to Muller. Muller's shot saved, but Lewandowski's there to tap the rebound home. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit disappointed with Salzburg because they should be winning. But Bayern Munich, of course, they can kill you with the click of the fingers. And just like that, it's 1-0.
Certainly is 1-0 indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. Lewandowski on fire in the Bundesliga. When is he not on fire? And he's on fire in the Champions League as well. It's a very good finish from the Polish forward. As Kieran said initially, it was the shot saved, which came out to Lewandowski. It's a simple striker's finish. But we've got our third goal of the night. Bayern Munich with an expected lead. And as Kieran perfectly put a few moments ago, don't worry, Bayern will score in a minute. It only took them 5 minutes to do that. So well done, Kieran. Good guessing there. And let's actually put, is Dusan Tadic playing? He is indeed. He's playing on the left wing tonight. Sorry, on the right wing even for Ajax tonight. Although you'll probably see him come central quite a bit in that match. But good start there for Bayern Munich, 1-0 up just before half-time. It's not been a massive night of action in the Champions League so far. It's been fairly quiet across the board, but Lewandowski certainly going to get his name on the goal sheet, because when does he not get his name on the goal sheet? He's just a consistent player and a bloody good forward to watch on his day, even when he's not in the greatest of form. Somehow he usually crops up with a couple of goals here and there. But we've got a good chance here for Atletico Madrid to get their first goal of the night. Ball flicked into the box from Koke, trying to get it towards Felix. It doesn't come to it in the end. And how Atletico Madrid haven't taken 1-0 lead in this match, I have absolutely no idea. There should have been a goal in this game for the home side. Yet somehow it's still 0-0 in this match. Kieran's put in the chat, F my boy, Maradona. Of course, shame to hear about his passing away today. Really sad to see. And of course, as I said, if you're a British follower as well, sad to see as well the news about Heavy D passing away today. Really, really sad indeed, with two big passing aways in football in terms of the media and the sporting industry as well. But we're going to go over to KD now, because there has been a chance in his game between Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg. Of course, Bayern Munich opening the scoring in this match. The question is, Red Bull Salzburg getting back into the game?
Well, they are, Josh, and if they could finish, this game would be maybe 3 or 4-1 to them. I mean, it's a really good chance again. It's a nice little break down the right-hand side. They get it to Koiter, who is about 10 yards or so out, and he just belts it straight at Neuer with no power whatsoever. Really disappointed from Salzburg so far. They've had a lot of opportunities, to be fair.
A lot of opportunities indeed, but they can't quite seem to put the ball into the back of the net. Thank you very much, as always, KD. It's still Bayern Munich 1, Red Bull Salzburg 0. We're getting towards half-time across the board in these matches. We've got 1 minute of additional time in the game between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow. We've also got 1 minute of additional time in the game between Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg. Salzburg trying to get that equalising goal in the match. They've certainly had a plethora of chances, which, of course, as always at half-time, we'll go across the boys. We'll talk about their fixtures. And we'll break down the analysis and the statistics of the match after the first 45 minutes of action. But we've got 20 seconds left here. Lokomotiv Moscow tonight, not doing much in the game at all, kind of holding on in this match. Atletico Madrid doing very well indeed, but they still somehow haven't got a goal in this game, which is quite crazy when you think about it. But we are at half-time, one of the first matches tonight. Ajax Midtjylland is goalless in that match as it currently stands. Plenty of opportunities in the game for Ajax, but not really much going on so far. Midtjylland doing quite well to hold on to a point as we hit half-time in this game between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow as well. And somehow, in this match, it's 0-0. Moscow holding on for dear life in this game. There's been a plethora of opportunities for Atletico Madrid, but they just can't quite seem to put the ball into the back of the net. The next 45 minutes is going to be massive, because if they do come out with a point tonight, Moscow, they are still within a chance of getting into the knockout stage of the Champions League. Who says it can't be done? Of course, still 45 minutes left of this game. We'll have to find out what goes on there. Half-time in one of the games that does have a goal tonight. Half-time between Bayern Munich and Red Bull Salzburg. It's 1-0 to the German champions. Robert Lewandowski late on in the first half with a goal. It was a finish from a rebound from the save from Stankovic, which Muller initially took the shot on it. Rebound to Lewandowski, and he put the ball into the back of the net to put Bayern Munich in a 1-0 lead. But we'll talk to Kieren in a bit, because Red Bull Salzburg have had a fair few chances in their games. We've got a few seconds left of the match between Marseille and Porto, which had 2 minutes of additional time in that game. And then, of course, it looks like we've still got a little bit of time left in the match between, I believe, Inter Milan and Real Madrid. As it currently stands, Inter Milan down to 10 men in this match because of the Arturo Vidal red card. Well, technically, it was a double yellow more than anything. And they're also down by a goal, which, in fact, that game is now at half-time, which means, across the board, in all of tonight's fixtures at half-time, it's been fairly quiet. And as I said, we're at half-time in all of those games. So as it currently stands on the nights, we had 2 games played earlier today at 5:55. They had plenty of goals in them, specifically for Gladbach. They scored 4 goals against Shakhtar Donetsk in their big game. That's now 10 goals that Gladbach have scored against Shakhtar over their last 2 fixtures. They are on fire right now in the Champions League. Manchester City through to the next stages of the Champions League after a 1-0 win against Olympiacos. Not the most convincing result tonight, but they won't care because they're through to the next round either way. And then tonight's matches, Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 1. Early goal in that game from Eden Hazard from the penalty spot. Inter down to 10 men after a double yellow from Anthony Taylor on Arturo Vidal. A little bit conspicuous, that one, but we'll talk to Kieran about that at half-time in terms of why maybe Anthony Taylor has given that as 2 yellow cards in quick succession. We've got the game between Liverpool and Atalanta. This one had plenty of goals in the previous fixture between these 2 sides, but no goals so far. 0-0 between these 2 teams. Liverpool having a lot of opportunities. Atalanta doing very well, but somehow the 2 of Europe's most attacking teams are goalless at half-time. Interesting indeed. Atletico Madrid 0, Lokomotiv Moscow 0. Once again, Madrid had plenty of chances in this game, but nothing going into the back of the net so far. Moscow doing very well to hold on in this game and try and steal a point from the Spanish side. Marseille 0, Porto 1. Sanusi with the opening goal in this game. Marseille still yet to score in the Champions League so far, and it was the 2 fullbacks connecting up, Manafa and Sanusi. Ball point to the back of the net from a rebound from Steve Mandanda, which means Porto could be through to the next round as of tonight if they win their game against Marseille, which would be very good indeed. And then, of course, Ajax 0, Midtjylland 0. Plenty of opportunities in this match for Ajax, but nothing right now as of yet in terms of goals being put into the back of the net. Midtjylland with only a few opportunities on goal on the counter. So far, it's been a fairly quiet night of action in the Champions League. Not many goals, not much action. Well, there's been plenty of action, but not really many goals going into the back of the net. But as I said, what we will do now is we will go around the boys. We'll talk about their games, talk about the stats in the match, and we'll really break down what's happened in the not really eventful in some of these matches. 45 minutes of action. But before we do that, I was sad when I heard the passing today of Diego Maradona. He was a great player, still young, only 60. May he rest in peace, and may he rest in peace indeed. Of course, it's sad to hear that news today, of course. Really been a sad day in football indeed. But let's go over to the guys and talk about some of the fixtures that have been going on tonight and how they've been going. Let's start off with the game between Ajax and Midtjylland. As we said earlier, Rowan saying in the match, it's been pretty much all Ajax so far. And Rowan, has it been a fairly quiet game, or has he had a fair few chances?
I think there's been a couple of chances at Ajax, but again, nothing that really has tested the goalkeeper. It's just a consistent, relenting pressure from Ajax. But Midtjylland, as I said at the start of the game, if they can hold on, they may get a goal. They've had a couple of chances. Cabot and Mabil linking up on that sort of the left to the striker, same with Dreyer and Cabot. So yeah, Midtjylland are doing okay for Midtjylland. For the second half, I think Ajax need to keep this pressure on them, and a goal will eventually come. I think, as you saw from that early chance, they could easily cut open this defence. You saw the Labyad chance, but Labyad has been that opportunity now probably 4 times now so far this game. So a goal will eventually come from.
It sounds like a goal will come indeed. Look at the stats of the match so far. Ajax 9 shots, 3 on target. Midtjylland only 2 shots, 1 on target. Ajax with 60% possession to Midtjylland's 40%. And I'm looking at the bench for Ajax. There's a lot of players that they could bring on in the match. Quincy Promes is sat on the bench. Yeah. They've got the veteran Klaas-Jan Huntelaar as well, who could come on. They've got plenty of players they could bring on as well. Anthony, another one that could come in the game. You would expect Ajax to go and get a goal.
Yeah, what's it called? Midtjylland were forced into an early change, by the way. Paulinho had to come off for Anderson. So
an early change in that one.
Yeah, I've got to put it in the chat because it was so early on. But yeah, I think this is Ajax's game to lose. It's been all them. Just got to keep that pressure there, and do something will come for them.
Absolutely. As it currently stands, though, Ajax 0, Midtjylland 0. Thank you very much, Rowan. As always, that game's been a little bit quiet in terms of chances, but it does feel like Ajax will eventually break the deadlock. Hansen with a fantastic save to keep Ajax out, specifically Labyad, in the first half of that match. As Kieran's put, Rowan, do a backflip on stream. Do you want to do a backflip?
Pigs will fly by the time I could do a backflip.
Well, you've got time to practice. Maybe next week, Rowan will do a backflip for you, Kieran. And well, let's have a look at the chat, see what you guys have been saying. Bill's put how's Liverpool. I tell you what, Bills, we'll come straight to that now because Will has been watching that game between Liverpool and Atalanta. Of course, as I said, two of Europe's greatest attacking sides currently in world football. But it sounded like Atalanta had been the better of the two sides. Is that the case at half-time, Will? Well, Will isn't there right now, so I'll look at the stats very quickly and see if he jumps in a second. Liverpool, as it currently stands, they've had 1 shot, 0 on target. Atalanta have had 4 shots, 1 on target. 46% possession for Liverpool in the match compared to Atalanta's 54. So when you actually look at it on paper, it's been quite a good match for Atalanta so far, looking really, really good indeed in terms of their chances. I'm going to try and see if Will is awake. Are you there, Will? He's probably fell asleep, bless him. But yeah, as it stands, it's Liverpool 0, Atalanta 0. As it currently stands in that match. Honestly, you don't get this content anywhere else on stream. I'll keep you up to date with that match, of course. I'll probably put it on this side. I will check if Will's still alive. He's probably fell asleep. He's a tired boy. But yeah, as it currently stands, Liverpool 0, Atalanta 0. Atalanta dominating that game so far in terms of chances. But there's only been 1 shot on target, so I couldn't really say that in terms of domination of shots on target. But we'll have to keep our eyes out with that in the second half, which I'll probably do if Will has fell asleep. Which, as I said, you just don't get that content anywhere else on YouTube, do you? But let's go to another game now and talk about the game between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg as it currently stands in that match. It's Bayern 1, Red Bull Salzburg 0. And this sounds like it's been the game of the night in terms of the plethora of opportunities. And I've got to say, Kieran, from the sounds of it, Red Bull Salzburg could have had 1 or 2 goals in this match.
They should definitely be winning this match, Josh. No doubt about it. I mean, they've had the majority of the clear-cut chances anyway. They've really let themselves down, I'm not going to lie. If they would have won tonight, or at least got a point which they could still get in the second half, it would really ignite this group for the second and third place, of course. You know how tight this group can be behind Bayern Munich, who, let's face it, even if they did drop points today, they still would go through as winners.
Exactly. It's one of those right now where the group is incredibly alive. It's not for Bayern, pretty much they're through anyway, but for Red Bull Salzburg, if they can get a victory tonight, or at least a point on the board, it will certainly put them up there in terms of potentially making the Europa League or the Champions League. And if you look at the stats of this match as it currently stands, Bayern Munich, 8 shots, only 2 on target. Red Bull Salzburg, 8 shots, 5 on target in the match. They've only had 36% possession to Bayern's 64. But realistically, Kieran, they've got well and truly a good chance of getting something in this match because they've had a fair few chances that you've said yourself they could have had 1 or 2.
I mean, I feel like this game's only going to go one way in the second half. Hansi Flick won't have been happy with that first half performance from Bayern Munich. Offensively, they were really, really shocking. Nothing really being made up front. And at the back, they were at 6s and 7s at some points, getting caught on the counter. I mean, Hansi Flick will have seen that, and he'll be fixing those changes at half-time. It's only going to get harder for Red Bull Salzburg. They've got to keep the energy up and not die in the 75th minute like they did last time they played.
Absolutely. You can't be a Champions League without being switched on for 90 minutes of action. And, well, they've got another 45 minutes to try and salvage themselves a point or 3 in the match against Bayern Munich. Thank you very much, KD. Of course, Bayern Munich 1-0 up in that game against Red Bull Salzburg. Good match indeed. And Kieran's put in the chat, why is there always one underdog? That's amazing every year. And I've got to say, Red Bull Salzburg have been a very consistent side now for the last couple of years. I remember them getting through to the quarters/semi-finals of the Europa League a couple of years ago. Very, very good side on the day. A very underappreciated European team. By the way, if you're new to the channel, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. It's very, very greatly appreciated as we push towards 1,300 subscribers. And Bills has put, can't believe Ajax didn't score, missed 3 clear goals there. Rowan can agree with you with that one. But let's talk about the game now between Inter Milan and Real Madrid. It's the biggest game of the night in terms of the calibre of the two sides. Kieren, Inter have got a lot to do. They're a goal down and they're down to 10 men.
Yeah, Real Madrid have been much the better side, but if you look at, the big moments in the game, it's been Inter mistakes that have caused it. A mistake for the penalty by Barella, and then Vidal just being his usual boisterous, outspoken self. And this time it's come back to bite him. He's seen red card plenty in his time, so he's got another one to add to the list tonight.
Certainly has indeed. It was a very quick decision from Anthony Taylor. It was pretty much 10 seconds after the initial yellow card for foul mouthing to the referee. He gives the second yellow. you said to yourself when the yellow card was given, it's quite an interesting way to stamp out the law. But is it really the right decision in that respect to give 2 yellow cards in such quick succession?
For me, the second one where he doesn't square up to him, but he goes very close to talk to him. And he, believe it or not, I don't think he's whispering nice things. I think that's a yellow. But I think the first one, he wasn't there too long. Yes, he was a bit, dramatic and a bit over the top, and he probably saying it very aggressively. But I think squaring up to him, definitely a yellow card. But to give a double yellow, as you said, you didn't really give him time to walk away and cool down by the time, and I don't think Vidal would have. But yeah, it's difficult where to draw the line. I think you'd never square up to a ref, but you are allowed to voice your opinion.
Exactly. It's one of those where, realistically, we know what Arturo Vidal is like. He's one of those players that doesn't tend to give up in situations where there's been feisty tackles and he's talked to the referee and things like that. But he's got himself sent off in this match. And Inter have got a lot of work to do. And when you actually look at the stats of the match, so far in the game, they've not really done anything at all. 2 shots in the match, none on target compared to Real Madrid's 8 shots, 4 on target. 40% possession for the home side. Real Madrid with 60%. As you would expect, of course, that early red card means you would expect Real Madrid to dominate possession in this game. And realistically, Kieran, I know we've got 45 minutes left of action. You could kind of say Inter Milan have gifted Real Madrid 3 points here, unless they can get an incredible comeback.
Yeah, I think, they've stacked the odds against themselves. They were 0-0, they were looking all right, but to give away an early penalty just put them immediately on the back foot. And now with 10 men, it's a mountain to climb. But there's still 45 minutes to go. We've seen stranger things in football, but has kind of took the interest out of the game a little bit, I'll be honest, because it will be all Real Madrid. It won't be I doubt it'll be a 50-50 unless Inter can nick a goal on the break. I'm expecting 2, maybe 3 goals to finish this one off.
And it's probably more likely to go to Real Madrid unless Inter Milan can spur an incredible comeback in the game. It should be a Real Madrid drubbing at this stage. But could you say as well, maybe the lack of the natural front three, likes of Benzema and Hazard, could actually play into Inter Milan's hands here? The fact that they've got a couple of weak players in the side.
Yeah, because Real Madrid have not been clinical by any means. The 1 goal has come from a penalty. It wasn't great build-up. It was, a mistake by Barella that led to a penalty that was dispatched. So in terms of clear-cut chances, very, very rare in the game. We had that one where Phil and Mendy chose to cross rather than shoot, and they hit the post. But apart from that, it has been probing for Real Madrid. So you might be right, but they do have a bit of power on the bench. So I'm sure we'll see some changes soon.
We certainly will indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran L. As always, we are about to get underway with the second half of action across the board tonight. As it currently stands at half-time across the board, we've got Atletico Madrid 0, Lokomotiv Moscow 0, Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 1, Marseille 0, Porto 1, Ajax 0, Watchalong 0, and Bayern 1, Red Bull Salzburg 0. Still 0-0 between Liverpool and Atalanta before we get to half-time. I'm going to try one more time. Will, are you there? He's fast asleep, bless him. I'll keep you up to date with Liverpool Atalanta, of course. He's a busy man. He's very tired. I think he has actually fell asleep. So I'll keep you up to date with that Liverpool Atalanta game. As he currently stands in that match, it's 0-0. It's also 0-0 in Atletico Madrid, Lokomotiv Moscow. So if you give me 2 seconds here, I will flip over to the Liverpool Atalanta game for now, for this next 45 minutes. In fact, I've done myself a really bad favour here because it's now booted me off BT. Jesus Christ, this is going to be fun. But I've got everything up either way. So we'll keep you up to date as we get underway with the second half of action. And as Kieran perfectly said himself, I do think we will see some substitutions across the board in these matches tonight. Remember, you can make 5 substitutions in the Champions League over 3 periods of play. And I'm pretty sure tonight we'll probably see a lot of substitutions made. And, well, we've not had many goals so far, so let's hope that the second half of action is much better. And let's hope as well that we get a few more goals, because it's been fairly quiet indeed. We've only had 3 goals on the night so far. And I mean, I'm going to try and get the Liverpool-Atalanta game up now. Of course, Will has fell asleep while watching the game, which, bless him, look at the stats. It's been fairly dull, so I can't blame him for falling asleep. But I will get that sorted out in a second, because we have already had a goal in the second half of action. It is a goal to Ajax, or is it to Midtjylland, Rowan?
It's a goal to Ajax. And Gravenberch take a bow. Just outside the box, what a shot. Just goes straight over Hansen. Just outside. That's a lovely goal. Rattles off the crossbar, bouncing. Pitch perfect. Gravenberch has just put Ajax ahead with a lovely goal. I'm sure you'll see it in a second.
Hopefully.
Maybe not, but that is a lovely finish from Gravenberch, youngster. I think that's his first goal in the Champions League. And what a way to write your name in history for yourself.
I mean, it's a great goal indeed. The long-range effort there, the way he curls it into the back of the net, it's an exquisite finish.
Straight bounce off the crossbar into the net, and Ajax are 1-0 up within a minute. I mean, Midtjylland are coming straight back at him.
What a lovely goal indeed.
Mobile shoots! Oh, and Nanana saves. Nearly an immediate reply from Midtjylland.
Big chance there for Midtjylland to get back into the game as it currently stands. It's 1-0 to Ajax. Thank you very much. As always, Rowan, very greatly appreciated indeed. What a lovely goal from Gravenberch to put his side into the lead on the night. And well, it was a fairly quiet 45 minutes of action in that match. But Ajax have taken the lead after 3 minutes of the second half, which is certainly good to see indeed. And I've got to say, I can't get it back on my BT here. He's booted me out, which is very frustrating. I can see the goal show, so I can see everything that's going on across all the games tonight. But I can't actually get back onto to the game I was watching, which is very frustrating. So while I sort that out, of course, we've got updates across the board. Ajax taking the lead in this game against Midtjylland. Let me just restart everything here, and then we can get back underway. But as I said, that goal from Gravenberch, a really good finish, and what a way to start to get your first Champions League goal in style. I mean, we saw yesterday the Bruno Fernandes goal, the incredible finish from the Portuguese midfielder, and it was lovely indeed. And I've literally just seen, I don't know if Rowan's seen it, but there's been another goal. Let's bring you in, Rowan. It's raining goals tonight.
It isn't. It's Mazraoui. Sorry, I had my eyes, and I was just doing something, but I had my eyes on the screen. I could see it from it. It's Mazraoui. Really, quite a simple goal. I think, is it Labia? I'm just going to have a look. I think it's Labia who plays the initial ball. And Mazraoui comes sprinting from all the way from his natural position at right back, and just lets Dusan Tadic actually plays the ball through to Mazraoui, who strikers run, just slots it in the bottom right, and in the space of 4 minutes, it's 2-0 to Ajax. It's a lovely finish. It comes from nearly centre back, and great goal by Ajax, and 2-0. Told you, they did a chance and they'll score.
I mean, as you said, it's striker's instinct in that situation. The way he gets to the ball, it's a great finish. Obviously, this first shot of the game first shot of the match, and what a lovely finish it is indeed.
It's all come crashing down for Midtjylland.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. The floodgates might now open in this match for Ajax to score a few more. But as it stands, thank you very much, Rowan. You've got a great second half potentially coming up, because Ajax look hungry for goals, and they've got 2 in the space of 2 minutes.
Well, I say stay with me. Oh, never mind, don't go.
Oh, I thought we were going to have a third goal there. That would have been lovely indeed. But thank you very much, Rowan. As always, 2-0 to Ajax in that match against Midtjylland. What a start to the game indeed. And I can't get back on my BT. What useless company. Absolutely awful. When you pay hard-earned cash to try and watch the Champions League, I can't access any, the game that I wanted to right now, which is incredibly frustrating. But either way, I can keep you up to date with the majority of games going on in the background. As I said, Ajax 2-0 up against Midtjylland right now, which is fantastic to see indeed. And hopefully I can get back on at some point, because I can still see all the goals that are going in, but I can't quite keep you up to date with a singular match. As I said, I was going to keep you up to date with the Liverpool Atalanta game. So the fourth time tonight is Will there. No, he's not. I'm just going to keep trying and hope eventually he just wakes up one day. In the next 45 minutes, he might wake up and pretend he's watched the match just to try and impress us. But if not, as I say, I'm going to try and get that Liverpool Atalanta game back on in just a moment's time and keep you up to date with it. But BT, just a useless company overall, which I guess, what can you expect? They're quite shy anyway. But we're 50 minutes into these fixtures tonight. As it currently stands, Ajax with 2 goals on the night in the second half. They're the only goals the second half so far. KD says he'll stick it on in the meantime, which is good indeed. And I've got it on now. We are all sorted. BT's finally let me in. There we go. So Liverpool Atalanta finally got on. God, it's taken me about 100 times to be able to press the bloody button to get onto it. But we can talk about a match. Liverpool-Atalanta, of course. Flipping to this game now because Will has fallen asleep live on stream, which is, what a man, honestly, legend. And Cal's point, if Liverpool score a load of goals, Will may regret going to bed early. Well, I'll scream down the microphone and pretend that Liverpool scored, and it probably. I'll lie. If Atalanta score a 90th minute winner, then I'll add Will in and I'll go wild just for Will, wake him up. But there's a few substitutes warming up here on the touchline. Firmino being one of them. Diogo Jota being another player that's warming up. And well, as we said in the first half, not been many chances for either of the two sides in terms of opportunities on target. Let's hope that the two, you've got to say two of the most informed teams in Europe in terms of attacking prowess that haven't scored. And well, this could be a good chance here. And a ball from Alejandro Gomez fed to the right wing towards the path of Ilicic just doesn't get to him in the end. But we have had a goal in the game between Bayern Munich and Salzburg. It was quite a close one at half time. The question is, have Bayern taken a 2-0 lead or Red Bull Salzburg back in the game? Kieran D.
Oh, it's exactly the start that Red Bull Salzburg didn't want. Because Bayern Munich had taken a 2-0 lead, and it's a very unfortunate goal to concede. I mean, things are coming into the area, cuts in onto his right foot, and he takes the shot, and it deflects off number 39, who is, Vober. It takes a massive deflection off him. The goalkeeper's diving the wrong way, and it's into the back of the net. Kingsley Coman will get credited with the goal because the original shot was on target, but unfortunately for Salzburg, the deflection means they're 2-0 down, and this game's probably done and dusted, Josh.
It looks like it will be done and dusted indeed. Thank you very much, KD. As always, Bayern Munich now could potentially run riot with, just under 45 minutes of action left to go. Thank you very much, KD. 2-0 to Bayern against Red Bull Salzburg. It could get fairly feisty once again. Remember, Red Bull Salzburg did concede 6 to Bayern Munich in their previous game, although they did score 2 goals and were at 2-2 for a large period of that match. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. But the good thing is we're getting goals in tonight's fixtures, and that's the important thing because it has been, it was a fairly quiet first 45 minutes of action. We only had 3 goals across the board, and we've already had 3 goals in the space of 7 minutes. And I can now focus on Liverpool-Atalanta. We've got a good chance here for Atalanta to come forward on the wing. I don't know if there's been any changes in this game, so I'm just going to check to make sure that there's been no substitutions in this match. There's not been any substitutions in this game so far between the two sides. Atalanta still lining up with Gomez, Pessina and Ilicic as the attacking 3. And then Origi, Salah and Mane up top. So be interested to see what happens there and whether we do get any early substitutions, which I think we probably will see at some stage. Liverpool making a few subs as well as Atalanta. But I'll keep you up to date with some of the other games going on tonight. Of course, Atletico Madrid taking on Lokomotiv Moscow. We talked about the first 45 minutes of action in that one, and it was fairly eventful for Lokomotiv Moscow in terms of chances against them. Atletico Madrid battering them with opportunities, but somehow couldn't put the ball into the back of the net. And Liverpool have got a chance to come forward here. James Milner just at the edge of the box tries to spray the ball into the path of Divock Origi, but the ball is just a little bit too heavy and it doesn't get to him in the end, although Milner's got the ball back here. Going to spray out onto the right wing towards Williams. There's 2 Williams on the pitch tonight, which is certainly interesting indeed. And it's a good little tackle there from Jim City, which means the ball will go out of play for a Liverpool throw-in in a fairly decent area. And, this is the first time I've watched Liverpool in the Champions League this season. And, of course, if you watched that previous game that they played against Atalanta, they ran riot against them in Italy. Incredible performance from them. Atalanta, one of the high-scoring sides, conceding 5 and didn't even score any. And maybe is it a case tonight of these two teams because they're so attacking and they've got so many good attacking players that they just cancel each other out? We'll have to find out with about 35 minutes of action left in this one. But as it currently stands, we are just around 55 minutes into tonight's fixtures, and you'll see there were 2 other games going on in the Champions League at 5:55. Gladbach, they were 4-0 winners tonight against Shakhtar Donetsk. What a result for them in the Champions League this evening. They scored 10 goals against Shakhtar in their last 2 games. Unbelievable. And then Manchester City with a 1-0 win against Olympiacos means that they're through to the next stages of the Champions League already, which I've got to say, by the way, doesn't it not feel like this season there's a lot of teams that are already nearly confirmed to go through to the next round? Because Barcelona, Juventus, Chelsea and Sevilla, they're already through to the next round. We could see Dortmund confirmed next week and Lazio. Bayern Munich could be confirmed pretty much tonight, potentially with the result in their match. If Liverpool win, I believe they won't necessarily be confirmed, but actually, no, they probably would be confirmed tonight. So there's another team. It really does feel like, we've got 2 more match days left. That, well, nearly half of the teams are already qualified for the next stage of the competition, which I guess drama-wise doesn't make it as amazing for the viewer. But I mean, there's a few good little groups going on where it's still kind of tight. And I think that group specifically being the Gladbach-Inter group, where there's just so much going on between those 4 sides that, of course, you will expect drama right till the very end in that group in terms of who goes through, who goes to the Europa League, and who just doesn't make it into a competition altogether. And as it currently stands, that will be Inter Milan, who won't be going through to the next stages of a competition, which is bonkers indeed. But as it stands, we're going to have a substitution here in the Liverpool game. Firmino is set to come onto the pitch in a moment, of course, scored at the weekend against Leicester City. And Diogo Jota's coming on too. So Liverpool looking to really cement their victory tonight. So we'll find out what happens there in terms of those substitutions in a little moment's time. But Katie has put that the goal that Koeman scored is a Wöber own goal. It's not going to be given to Kingsley Coman. So Wöber there with the own goal in that match. Really heavy deflection for his goal. Kingsley Coman's goal, of course, means that will go to Wöber, an award that he certainly will not want. Kingsley Coman will not get that goal to his name, which is a shame for him indeed. But as it stands, this Liverpool-Atalanta game, we've got a yellow card coming out here for one of the Williams going into the book there for a tackle on, I think it was Martin de Vroon, who had just been fouled in the build-up there, and it's the right decision in the end. It's a pretty poor tackle, and it's quite interesting to see a few of those youngsters on the pitch tonight. Curtis Jones being one of them. Really good player on his day, and he was actually really good in that match against Leicester City. And I'd be interested to see, of course, what happens with him in his Liverpool career, because he's a very good player on his day. But we've got 3 substitutions readying up here for Liverpool. In fact, we've got 4 substitutions readying up for Liverpool. Robertson, Fabinho, Jota and Firmino all getting ready to come on. I think we'll see potentially Origi coming off, Curtis Jones maybe coming off, a few other subs as well. But we will come back to that in a second, because there has been a chance in the game that Rowan is watching between Ajax and Midtjylland. It's been a very good second half so far. Are Midtjylland getting back into the game, or is it another chance for Ajax?
Yeah, it's a chance for Midtjylland. There we go. Eventually said it. Mobile plays a lovely outside of the football to the wing to Drea, who keeps on pushing. He skins Tagliafico. Tries to curl one from outside the box, much like he did last game day, but he just swings it straight into Onana, who has to punch it away, and the rebound don't come in. I mean, Midtjylland have still got the ball and are pressing this Ajax defence. I say that, and this it's a dangerous free kick. If Midtjylland does, Schultz has just gone down under not a horrible tackle by Dylan, but just a bit of a stamp, not on purpose. So they've got a bit of a dangerous free kick. It'll take a while before it's taken, though, so I doubt anything will come of it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Midtjylland can get a goal back in this match as it currently stands. 2-0 down. We'll stay with you for a quick second just to see if anything changes. But in terms of Liverpool-Atalanta, Atalanta just coming forward here. Josip Ilicic might take a shot from outside the box. He doesn't. Tries to dink it towards Gomez, who heads it down, but it isn't going to come to anything in the end. So the chance is wasted there for Atalanta. But in terms of that free kick, I assume it's probably about to come in a moment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see who's standing. I think it's Drea and Sisto standing over it. Drea whips it. Oh, he goes for a shot! Ooh! But Onana's extremely far right of his net, and Drea spots him out. He takes a shot, but he puts it wide. If that's on target, that's in. Oh! He's going for the cross. His players are not happy with him, but fourth could have been 2-1 there. Onana could have been nearly embarrassed, but all good for Ajax so far. Could
have been embarrassed indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. Ajax 2, Midtjylland 0. Will, wake up, Will, wake up. There's been a goal, but it's to Atalanta. Josip Ilicic with the goal in that game. It was just kind of talk you through this goal now, actually, because, of course, we talked a moment ago about the Midtjylland opportunity. Ball often into the box from Alejandro Gomez. It's a great cross from the Argentinian. Flicked into the path of Josip Ilicic. The tall Slovenian striker gets there ahead of Alisson. Toe pokes it into the back of the net. And it's 1-0 Atalanta. Will be buzzing. He certainly won't be, of course, he's a Liverpool fan. And, it's a deserved lead in terms of the stats. And Gasperini delighted because it opens up this group a little bit more than you would expect. And we've had a goal elsewhere. Inter Milan, Real Madrid. Have Inter got back into the game, Kieran? or a Real Madrid 2-0 up?
I think it might be game over, Josh. It's a goal for Real Madrid. And if you look back in the chat, Josh, this goal comes 10 seconds after Rodrigo and Casemiro entered the field. And with his first touch of the game, Rodrigo has doubled Real Madrid's lead. It's Lucas Vázquez on the right who gets through-balled by Toni Kroos. He lofts a ball to the back post where Hakimi's trying to track back, but Rodrigo can volley into a basically near open net as Handanovic is scrambling. So 2-0, I'm pretty confident game over. Inter Milan didn't look bad up until that goal, but 10 men comes to bite you eventually.
It does indeed, and Real Madrid looking like they're going to get a massive victory in their Champions League group. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. They somehow always seem to be able to get out of their group, even when you expect them to be down and out. Somehow, Real Madrid, they find that consistency and they find that belief somehow to get through into the knockout stages of the Champions League. And yet, yet again, we were 2 or 3 match days in, and we were thinking Real Madrid could potentially be in the Europa League, and they found their spirit to get back in these matches. And of course, tonight it's a very different situation with Inter Milan being down to 10 men after 30 minutes. Vidal being sent off in the game, but Rodrigo with the goal. It's a lovely finish. The back post, as Kieran said, it's pretty much a nearly open goal, and it goes into the back of the net. 2-0 Real Madrid. It should be done and dusted there, unless Inter Milan can provide something special in the match. I highly doubt it, but Real Madrid going to get the 3 points on the board, and Inter Milan will sit bottom of the group, which certainly isn't looking good for Antonio Conte. And then, of course, as I said a moment ago, Liverpool 1-0 down to Atalanta as it currently stands. A good finish from Josip Ilicic. Those 4 changes have come on now, which I'm going to try and have a quick look here and see who has come on for who. So Salah, Origi, Wijnaldum and Tsimikas are all coming off the pitch, and then coming on was Fabinho, Firmino, Jota and Robertson. So a few big changes in there as Liverpool now have to try and fight for an equaliser with 27 minutes of action left. There's been a few changes in that Real Madrid game, of course, as Kieran said a moment ago. 2 substitutions in that match. Odegaard and Mariano coming off. The substitutes, Casemiro and Rodrigo coming onto the pitch as Real Madrid, of course, now 2-0 up. And there's also been a few changes in the game between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. Leroy Sané and Hernandez on, Pavard and Gnabry off, with about 30 minutes left of action there. By minute 2-0 up as it currently stands. Carwell has put, you look like a mouse. Thank you very much, Carwell. Very greatly appreciated. Stuart Little, good little mouse indeed. But 63 minutes on the clock in this match. Liverpool 0, Atalanta 1. Plenty of time left in this game for Liverpool to try and get a goal back in this match. And Atalanta, as I said, looking the better of the two sides in terms of this game. Being really, really good so far. Looking the dominant of the sides. Although they've not really had a great deal of chances. Although they're on the left wing right now. Pessina could flick a ball into the path of Josip Ilicic. Decides to lay it off to Alejandro Gomez. Lovely flick ball towards the right. It's going to come down. And it's 2-0 to Atalanta. And it's Gosens who puts the ball into the back of the net. And it's a really, really good finish from the German fullback slash midfielder slash winger, whatever you want to call him. He plays in every position possible, but it's a great goal indeed. He's inside the box. He's just able to get the touch on from the Ilicic header, and it's into the back of the net. 2-0 Atalanta. Liverpool have a lot of work to do. And I mean, the defending there was quite poor, to be honest, but it's just a really, really good tap into the back of the net there from Robert Gosens, one of the most in form and consistent midfielders in European football, gets another goal to his name. And Gasperini is absolutely delighted right now, just seeing him on the screen. He's buzzing and he's dancing around Anfield right now. And you can see Klopp frustrated because it well and truly opens this group up. Atalanta 2, Liverpool 0. Will fell asleep. He's missing out on some goals here. Probably wouldn't be happy, though, right now with the situation. We've had a few changes. Well, one change, to be precise, in the game between Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Hakimi off, Sanchez on. And then we've had a few changes in the Ajax game between Ajax and Midtjylland. It's for the home side. Ajax, Martinez and Alvarez coming on for Klaassen and Blind. And just as Ron has put those substitutions in the chat, there has been a goal. The question is, have those substitutes linked up for a goal or are Midtjylland back into the game, Rowan?
It's not the substitutes, but it's not Midtjylland. It's David Neres outside the box, just hits it, thumps it in the back of the net, in the bottom left, past Hansen, and well, that is a lovely finish. It's Traore, wins his header. Oh, I think Midtjylland are calling for a foul in the build-up. where Traore does just take out, I don't know who it is, but Devin Neres takes the ball just in the open play. Traore passes it to him. Neres, it hits it on the bounce, boom, into the bottom left. Lovely finish. Ajax 3-0 up to the good.
Certainly a dominative performance tonight from Ajax. Thank you very much, as always, Rowan. 3-0 to the good now. Midtjylland looking like they're down and out in terms of getting points tonight, Rowan. Certainly delighted with that 3 goals in that game. Good to see, of course, the most goals of the night so far in that fixture. We've gained plenty of goals now as it currently stands with 25 minutes of action left. Liverpool 0, Atalanta 2, Atletico Madrid 0, Lokomotiv Moscow 0, Inter Milan 2-0 down to Real Madrid and Inter down to 10 men. Porto 1-0 up against Marseille. Ajax 3, Midtjylland 0. And just as I was talking about buying Red Bull Salzburg, we have a red card in the game. Who's got that red card, KD?
Well, it's Mark Rocker, and I'm honestly, I don't know how he's been sent off because I don't remember him getting a yellow card, Josh. I'm not going to lie. Unless he's just got 2 quick yellow cards, very similar to Arturo Vidal. But he was on the touchline and he was smacking his hands on the floor. He's not happy that he's been sent off. And I'm honestly, I took my eyes away from the screen for about 5 seconds. And he's gone off the pitch. And I'm like, what the bloody hell has happened here? I will investigate to find out more. But at the moment, Bayern Munich down to 10 men and Salzburg have some sort of way back into this game if they can find a goal. 25 minutes, just under 23 minutes, left on the clock.
Well, I can save the research for you. Did get a yellow card in the 48th minute. So this is a second booking. Is it the right decision for the referee for a second yellow?
Well, I didn't see the foul. Like I said, I took my eyes off the screen for 10 seconds and he's walking off the pitch. And I'm thinking, what the bloody hell has happened there? It would be the 10 seconds that I don't look that something happens, wouldn't it?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to make this game interesting now.
Because Lewandowski is in, skips onto his left foot to Coman, back across the goal, and Sané heads it in. And it's 3-0 to Bayern Munich, Josh.
Just as I said, there's a chance for Salzburg.
The red card seems to unfaze them, and Leroy Sané has scored a header, and Bayern Munich lead 3-0. Excellent counter-attacking football. And I mean, who needs 11 men when you've got 10?
Exactly. Who needs 11 men? Bayern probably don't even need 10 men or 9 men. This is a very good side, Bayern Munich. 3-0 up now against Red Bull Salzburg. Of course, they're down to 10 men after a double yellow for Mark Rocker. Certainly not a good Champions League, well, not Champions League debut, but Champions League debut for Bayern Munich. Katie, thank you very much as always. And, well, doesn't matter anyway because they're 3-0 up to the good now. Leroy Sané, the substitute, coming onto the pitch, getting the goal to his name. Absolutely delighted indeed. And we have a goal in another one of the games tonight. Atletico Madrid, Lokomotiv Moscow. Just looking here, we had a free kick for Atletico Madrid, which was slotted into the back of the net. Just want to see you put that into the back of the net. It's 1-0 to Atletico Madrid in that match. And it was actually hit off the wall. And Yannick Carrasco hits the ball on the volley. It's rebounded by the goalkeeper. And it comes down into the path of Koke, who slots it home. It's the easiest finish he will ever get in his career. And Atletico Madrid, they've finally taken a 1-0 lead against Lokomotiv Moscow with 22 minutes left on the clock. Certainly a good result indeed for Atletico Madrid tonight if they can get, if they can hold on, because of course they've dominated for 70 minutes against the Russian side tonight. And they finally got the goal that they deserve. We've got a substitution though in the game between Ajax and Midtjylland. Midtjylland making a few substitutions. Kraev and Anderson have come on both for Kaba and Madsen, so a few changes in that game so far. Although we are going to have a VAR review in the game between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow for a potential offside. I don't know what the referee is checking for here. He blows his whistle, VAR, and the goal, I think, looks like it's been chalked off. There is no goal. It will not count. Simeone is fuming on the touchline. He has no idea why that's been disallowed, but it's not going to count anyway. And just looking at it, I think it's for an offside decision there on Koke, and I think it's the right decision in the end. It's still 0-0 in that match, and well, they thought they got the goal in the game. Atletico Madrid, they haven't now, and with 20 minutes left on the clock, they've still got to try and get a goal in that match. A lot of work to do indeed. Let's go over to KD in a moment, because there has been a red card in another game tonight. Marseille and Porto. One of the teams are down to 10 men, but let's go to KD first and find out what's happening between Bayern and Salzburg. Who's had that chance this time? KD.
Well, just as Bayern Munich are starting to counter-attack, Josh, Leroy Sané skips past one man. They are coming again. He's on his own, but he's overran it. But the chance, Josh, was actually for Salzburg, and Manuel Neuer has made surely the save of the night. Good chance from Berisha. He had 2 attempts on target, 1 blocked, 1 parried by Neuer, straight back to Mwepu, who's 6 yards out. and Manuel Neuer manages to tip it over the bar. It's an absolutely magnificent save from one of the world's best goalkeepers. This has sparked a double change from Salzburg, though. Karim Adeyemi, the youngster, is going to be coming on for Junazovic, and the other sub is, just give me 1 second, Susic is coming on, and I'm not sure who's just come off the pitch. But yeah, if Salzburg were to score there, Josh, you're thinking 2 goals back in 20 minutes against 10 minutes. Could happen. It's Mwepu who's come off for Ashimeru, and Susic has come on as well.
Well, you never know if they can get a goal. As you said, potential comeback, maybe. Highly doubtful, but we'll have to find out. Of course, Bayern down to 10 men with a red card against Salzburg. And of course, I said a moment ago, it's red card fever tonight in the Champions League because Porto, they're down to 10 men. It's another side. In fact, every team, well, apart from Inter Milan, of course, that are leading tonight, are down to 10 men. And it actually looks like here, we've got a penalty. And oh, well, just as they've gone down to 10 men in the match, Marseille are now down to 10 men as well. What is going on in this game? This one has got certain drama written all over it. Well, Marseille have given away a penalty here, just as they've got themselves a one-man advantage in the match. I'm just trying to see what's happened. It's bonkers right now what's going on. So it was a quick throw-in that was taken from Marseille. Morega's pulled down in the box, and it's the right decision in the end. That has to be given as a yellow card. And I think it's Beledi who's gone into the book. He brings down Moussa Morega in the box. He gets his second yellow card. He's off the pitch, which means Marseille and Porto, it's 10v10, Beledi being the man sent off with the second yellow card. What is going on in that match? And as Porto thought maybe they might have to hang on, they've now got a chance to double their lead in the game, and standing on the spot is Sergio Oliveira. He scored in their previous game, actually, against Marseille. He's now up against Steve Mandanda on the penalty spot. And if Mandanda could be a hero here, he could well and truly keep his Marseille side in the game with 20 minutes left. And the other red card, it's not a good night for Liverpool. Grujic was the man sent off, but Sergio Oliveira currently stood on the spot, ready to take this penalty. As I said, big opportunity here for Steve Mandanda to be a hero in this match and keep his side in the game. Although, of course, they are 1-0 down as it currently stands. So Oliveira stood on the spot. Referee just waiting. He blows his whistle. Could we see this going to the back of the net? Big opportunity for Porto to kill the game off. Oliveira runs up, puts it into the bottom left-hand corner, and it is the right way. Unfortunately, Mandanda, he does go to the bottom left-hand corner, but it's not enough to get there. It's a little bit weak from the French goalkeeper. He's frustrated he's not got to the ball. But Porto now, they have a 2-goal lead, and both sides are down to 10 men. Drama indeed. We've had another goal elsewhere while the penalties are going in. Let's go over to Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. We said about Red Bull Salzburg a couple of moments ago, they needed to get a goal in this game if they wanted to get a comeback. Is it a Bayern fourth or Salzburg back in the game? Kieran D.
Oh, Josh, how about this? 3-1. Berisha has scored for Salzburg, but it is being checked for potential offside by Berisha as the ball's played in by Christensen. It's a very close, I'm not going to lie, but if this goes in for Salzburg, it could spark somewhat of a comeback, and it would probably be one of the best comebacks of the Champions League season, of course.
I think that's offside.
The goal is still being checked. I do believe it's offside as well. It does look about an inch or two offside, of course, but we saw the one get given for Mason Greenwood a few weeks ago against Red Bull Leipzig. Of course, it is still going to VAR. It's taken too long, this. Should be over by now. Simple decision. This is what we don't like. We don't like waiting, of course.
No, we don't indeed. I mean, I've just seen on my screen Jesse March doing a few kick-ups with the ball. That's how long VAR is taking right now to make a decision.
Having another look at it. It's a good... this is what they've done well all night. They've nicked it in Bayern Munich's final third. Christensen plays a really good ball in, and Berisha, smart finish through the legs of Manuel Neuer. Really good, well-worked goal by Salzburg, and they should have scored more tonight. It shouldn't have taken them 75 minutes to get the first goal, of course. But if this sparks a comeback, if this goal stands, it's surely going to give them the momentum. And if they can get another one before 80, 85 minutes, Josh, you're thinking, well, here we go. But still being...
Exactly. I mean, they're taking a long time to review it, but we said in the last game, of course, when Bayern faced off against Salzburg, it took Bayern 70 minutes to really go full throttle in that match. And now, of course, they've got the advantage, Salzburg. If this goal does count, it could be a big opportunity in the game for Salzburg to potentially spur a comeback. But as I said, from what I've seen, I think he just looks marginally offside. But you never know with the VAR. It's taken a long time to decide here. And as we said, if they can get the goal given, this is a big opportunity for Salzburg to get back in the game because they've looked good tonight, haven't they?
they've looked very good. And it's been really, really frustrating watching them play because if they'd have put half the chances away, as Lee Dixon always says, it would be a cricket score. And the goal has stood, surprisingly. It's stood and it's 3-1 and it's game on at the Allianz.
Certainly, I think for the neutral, you want the goal to stand because it certainly leaves you in a very good position for a grandstand 15 minutes. And as you said, it's been given as a goal. And of course, it looked marginally offside potentially. I don't know what VAR has seen in terms of giving it as an onside goal. But either way, who cares? You've got a fantastic 15 minutes left, Kieran. Bayern 3, Red Bull Salzburg 1. Bayern down to 10 men. Mark Rucker sent off with 2 yellow cards in that match about 5 or 10 minutes ago. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this game. We've had a few substitutions in the match between Liverpool and Atalanta. 2 substitutions. In fact, Majika has come onto the pitch as well as Duvan Zapata with about 14 minutes left. Atalanta 2-0 up to the good in this match. Liverpool not really done much at all since their big players have come onto the pitch. So they've got 14 minutes to try and get 2 goals back. Remember, it will certainly open up the group. We'll have a look at the group and how the groups are standing at the end of tonight's action. But Chris has put, hi everyone, brilliant to be back. Brilliant back-to-back nights for me, if you get my sarcasm. We've been shocking. Atalanta deserve the win, and I agree with you so far. I mean, I've watched the kind of second half of action, and it's been really, really poor from Liverpool tonight. Not a good result at all. And as I said, we'll look at the groups in a little bit. We'll see how things are standing in terms of the group at the end of the 90 minutes. And, well, this one could be fairly a little bit more open than you expect. I think it kind of gives an opportunity for maybe Ajax to try and push and get towards the top end of the table and start to bridge a gap between themselves. In fact, I believe it also puts Atalanta in a very good position to fight to potentially top the table. Imagine that, Liverpool dropping down to the Europa League. You never know. It's a very tight group indeed, but there's still 2 match days to go. So we'll have to find out what goes on there. But as it currently stands, we've got about under 15 minutes left of action. 2-0 to Atalanta, but I'll talk about that in a second because we have a penalty in the game between Ajax and Midtjylland. Have Midtjylland got a chance to get back into the game, Rowan, or is this the chance for an Ajax 4th?
They do, because it's a Midtjylland penalty. I didn't think it was a penalty. It's Mobile step-overs. Yeah, it is a penalty, and Mobile just step over in the box. Mazraoui goes to kick the ball, Mobile knocks it away. Mazraoui takes out Mobile's legs, and it's a penalty to Midtjylland. It's going to be Kraev who steps up with this lovely little afro.
He's got a very nice afro, hasn't he? And, well, very similar to the Salzburg game. This is a very good opportunity for Midtjylland with 10 minutes left to maybe spur a comeback. Have they looked better in the second half?
No, not really. I mean, they've scored. Yeah, they haven't looked particularly amazing. The subs haven't done anything. Drea's looking more tired. But again, a goal can spark some life. Can't own anything. Thing is, this group is so interesting. If this game ends Ajax 3-0, so win the game. So I think as it stands, isn't it 9-7-7-0?
As it currently stands in that group, it will be 9-7-7-0. You're spot on. It's a tight group, but big chance here for Midtjylland.
It's I'll tell you who takes it. It's not Kraev there. I'll tell you who takes it. Midtjylland's chance now, just to get a goal back, just to spur something on. Get
a bit of belief to the side.
It's going to be Mobile who steps up. He won the penalty. Oh, bottom left, but Onana gets a hand to it. Onana gets a hand, but he just goes underneath his legs, underneath his hand. He won't be happy with that. But Midtjylland 3-1. They've got 1 goal back, 2 more to come away with a draw.
And indeed for Ajax, thank you very much, Rowan, as always. Is this the potential night of comebacks? We'll have to find out. 2 teams who were 3-0 down have got goals back in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Could Midtjylland do it? It's highly doubtful, but we'll have to find out indeed because we are going to go over to KD because there has been a chance in the game of Red Bull Salzburg been getting back into the match, or are Bayern looking for a 4th, Kieran?
Well, Red Bull Salzburg have been absolutely dominating since they've scored the goal, and they should have just made it 3-2, Josh. It's such a frustrating team to watch because they just can't finish, but they are coming forward here. Just before I do talk about that chance, Koita on the left, lovely bit of skill, and it's poked away, but it's come back to someone. Number 21, that's Sucic, and he's kicked it straight at Neuer. Oh, it's happening all the time. It just goes straight to Neuer. They've got no direction on their shots, Josh. The shot before, however, from the left back, Ulmer, got 1-on-1 with Neuer, kicked it straight at him. They could have scored 5 or 6 tonight, but they've only got the 1 as of yet. 81 minutes on the clock. Bayern Munich have won the ball back though, and they are countering. Lewandowski, it's going backwards though. I'd like to see Salzburg get one more as a neutral and just make this last 9 or so minutes of the game entertaining. But I feel like Bayern Munich are going to hit them on the counter.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where we know Bayern are dangerous. Even with 10 men, they can break down sides very well. But as it currently stands, Bayern 3, Red Bull Salzburg 1, as you perfectly said, Kieran. As a neutral, you want Red Bull Salzburg to get another goal back in this game and try and make this a very interesting game indeed. Peter's in the chat. He's joined us with about 10 minutes left. He says, I'm buying a PS5. Would love to see it. How are you doing, Peter? Good to see you in the stream, as always. But for the neutral right now, it is one of those where you want to see a second goal in the match to make things interesting. But Bayern Munich fans, you'll be delighted right now. 3-0 up, although down to 10 men. We've had a few changes in the match between Inter and Real Madrid. It's kind of killed the game off a little bit with a red card early on in the match for Inter Milan, but there's a substitution for either side. Eden Hazard has come off the pitch. Vinicius Jr. has come on. And then for Inter Milan, Gagliardini has come off. And Stefano Sensi has come on as we get towards the final 10 minutes of action here. And there's a chance for Atalanta to come forward. Ilicic lays the ball off to Zapata inside of the box, and his shot is just scuffed and high and wide. He tries to take the shot on as he's turning. Just doesn't really get to position his body in the right way he'd like to. And eventually it goes high and wide of the goal. And then we've had a chance. We've had a substitution in the game between Ajax and Midtjylland. They're looking to try and get a potential comeback in that match. And Sisto and Dre have come off the pitch. Pfeiffer and Isaacsen have come onto the pitch. They've got 10 minutes to try and score 2 goals to spur a comeback in that match. We've got 8 minutes of action left here between Liverpool and Atalanta. And Will, he's back. He's live and breathing. And Will, you might as well go back to bed because Atalanta, as it currently stands, 2-0 up in this match. And Liverpool coming forward here. A potential opportunity in this game for them to try and get an equalising goal. We've had a substitution as well for Ajax in the game between against Midtjylland. Promise and Kleiber coming on for Labiad and Mazraoui. So a little bit of a few substitutions there to try and spur on that Ajax side in the match. But as it stands, Liverpool 2-0 down to Atalanta. There's a lot of work to do tonight for Liverpool. Really poor performance indeed. Peter's put, there's an intercourse happening in Milan. And then Carl's put, the only match on TV was the Liverpool-Atalanta game. I said to myself, I'm not watching Liverpool smash them again. Guess I was wrong this time. And, we haven't really seen much at all of Liverpool tonight. They've had a couple of opportunities to go forward, but they've not looked themselves, which is quite strange. And, fair play to Atalanta. They couldn't do it in their own ground, so they went to Anfield and did it instead, which is quite interesting because, of course, the Anfield record has been going on for donkey's years now, it feels like. And, of course, it'll continue on in the Premier League, but very rare to ever see a side win at Anfield. They've done very, very well indeed. But let's go over to KL because there has been a chance in this game between Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Of course, Inter down to 10 men in that match. Who's had that chance, though, Kieran?
This one was for Inter Milan, and if this would have gone in, I think it would have really, made for a very interesting last 7 minutes. But it was a quick break for Inter Milan, which is kind of what they've been working off since they've had 10 men. Sanchez freed Perisic on the left-hand side. He went to shoot across Courtois. Courtois got a really good, strong hand on it. I thought it was going to the path of Lukaku, but it just evaded the Belgian forward. But a good effort.
Very good effort indeed. 2-0 to Real Madrid. It currently stands with about 7 minutes left of action. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. We're going to move over to the other Kieran now. There's been a big chance of the game between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. The last time we spoke to Kieran, Salzburg, they were knocking on the door to try and get a second goal in this game and really, potentially bring on a big comeback. Question is it Salzburg with a chance again, or are Bayern looking for a fourth?
It is, Josh, and it's another glorious chance. This time, it's Koita. He pokes the ball through to Susic. He rounds Manuel Neuer and just flicks it wide of the post. He was at the angle, to be fair, and he was on the stretch. But it's so unlucky and so unfortunate for Salzburg.
Very unlucky indeed. They are desperately trying to get that goal to spur the comeback, but they need to get it very soon because they're running out of time. Thank you very much, as always, Kieran D. Bayern 3, Red Bull Salzburg 1. Bayern down to 10 men, of course, with that second yellow to Mark Roca in the match. There's been another substitution in this game. I believe Matip has come off the pitch and Minamino has come on. So a few changes here. And if Will is awake, I'll let you cover the last 6 minutes of the match just in case Liverpool do spur a comeback in this match. And I've just seen the opportunity in that game for Salzburg to get the goal. And my God, it is one of those where it must be so frustrating to watch if you're a Salzburg fan because the amount of chances they've had in this game to get goals. They've had so many shots on target, yet somehow they just can't seem to get the ball into the back of the net. And this is twice now that Salzburg have come up against Bayern Munich in this Champions League group stages. And they've looked fairly comfortable against them. Of course, 70th minute onwards in the first game, they completely collapsed. And I guess when you're a team like Salzburg, you are probably going to collapse at some point. You can't always hold on to the momentum of this side. And as it currently stands right now, of course, they're doing very well against Bayern. They're still 3-1 down. But if they can get a second goal here, with a few minutes left, a few minutes of additional time maybe, you never know. A point against Bayern Munich would certainly be something to scream and shout about for the Austrian champions. But they're going to have to do it soon, because I said they are running out of time indeed. So with 5 minutes left of action, I'll go through the scores in a second, because I was shocked about our lineup. I thought we would go strong to try and seal qualification early. And well, it makes the group interesting, because we'll look, as I said, after the games, how the group's standing. But right now, it genuinely does put Liverpool with a potential chance of dropping into second or maybe third, depending on how their other two games goes, which is crazy considering they're on 9 points. And of course, the next game, you would expect them to try and get that qualification. I thought you would have gone for it tonight. As you said, Chris, just go and get the qualification tonight. Why not? But with 5 minutes left as it stands, scores on the doors tonight across the Champions League. Liverpool 2-0 down to Atalanta. Atletico Madrid, they did get a goal earlier on in the match against Lokomotiv Moscow. It was a goal that was put into the back of the net by Koke, but it was then actually given in the end as an offside by VAR. So it's still currently 0-0. Lokomotiv Moscow looking like they could be about to get another massive point against the La Liga side, which would still make this group incredibly interesting going into the final few match days. Inter Milan 2-0 down to Real Madrid. Arturo Vidal was sent off in the around the half an hour mark in that game. It kind of killed that one off. Real Madrid 2-0 up to the good, and it's pretty much a free win for them. Well, this one was an interesting match. Marseille and Porto, both teams down to 10 men. It was Porto who went down to 10 men first, and then a minute later, after Porto got a red card, Marseille then got a red card and a penalty to Porto, which they converted, meaning it was 2-0 in that match. But we're going to go over to KD, because there's a dangerous free kick in that game between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. Chance for the Austrians, Kieran?
It is a chance for the Austrians. It's about 25 or so yards out. It's a good chance to get a shot on goal. Manuel Neuer's been in good form tonight, but if Salzburg are going to score, they need to score now. It's the 87th going into the 88th minute, of course. I think it's a 2 or 3 man wall for Bayern Munich. Yeah, no, it's 4-man wall. It's a good chance for Berisha, or I think Junazovic, to have a shot on goal. They are lining up to shoot. Nobody's in the box for Salzburg. Koita's lurking outside the area, maybe for a rebound or so. But if they're going to score, this needs to go in. And I mean, they can't score the tap-ins. Berisha over the wall and over the bar, but they can't score the tap-ins. They can't score the long ranges. What can they score, Josh?
God knows. They're going to need something the next few minutes, because they are getting down to probably the last 5 minutes, maybe less, of the match. Thank you very much, Katie, as always. Bayern still 3-1 up in that match and down to 10 men as well. So can they get something in the match? It looks like that time is probably going to be against them here. But we've had a change in the game between Inter and Real Madrid. A change for Inter Milan. Lukaku coming off the pitch. Christian Eriksen coming on with a few minutes left to go. It's been a poor performance tonight from Inter Milan. And a very, very poor Champions League campaign yet again. It's the second year in a row where they were pretty much drawn into a very tricky group. Probably easier. I would actually say much easier than last year, the likes of Gladbach and Shakhtar. It was a fairly tight group when we looked at it when it was originally drawn, but they should be getting out of it. They're still currently at bottom. We could actually see them not make another European campaign this season. We could finish bottom, or we could see them drop down to the Europa League again, which would be interesting. Inter Milan, of course, winning it last year. Losing out in the final last year. Could they maybe see another Europa League final this year? We'll have to find out. They could turn into the new Sevilla if they wanted to. Of course, Sevilla now through to the next stage of the competition. But it's red card fever tonight. We have another red card. That is the 4th red card of the night. Question is, this time, who has got... Sorry, it's the 5th red card of the night. Who's got it, Rowan?
It's Sviatchenko from Midtjylland. There we go. Just Neres is running through. Not on goal, but he's the last man. Sviatchenko just takes him out. Simple red card. Nothing much. But I didn't... I don't know if you get to see it. If you look at it, I don't think Neres gets actually touched, but because it is so close, the referee's immediately gone, but it is a very close one. I think it may only just get a touch, but yeah. Sviatchenko, red card for Midtjylland, and they've got to turn the free kick with 2 more minutes left of added time. Thank you very much, Rowan. As always, the Midtjylland comeback certainly not going to happen tonight now. That's the 5th red card of the night. We love a red card indeed. They're flying left, right and centre. Could we get a 6th before the end of the night?
Probably not, but Magician going down to 10 men there, 3-1 to Ajax in that match. It's pretty much done and dusted there. Shevchenko getting sent off, which means there'll be a lot of players missing for the next legs of matches. Really, really unfortunate indeed. But we are going to go out to Rowan because there has been a chance of the game. I saw your reaction, Rowan. It must have been a good chance.
Well, it was from that resulting free kick, and it's Tadic who swings it probably 40 yards, probably like 40 yards out, I'd say. And Hansen has to get there, and he does. But we could have just seen nearly a goal of the tournament contender there from Dusan Tadic, who just full on thwacks it. Enough curl and incredible save by Hansen.
Thank you very much, Rowan.
There's also going to be some, I think, is that Eklund Camp? I'll let you know. That's
all right. Keep you updated in the chat. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. We are down towards the 90th minute now. There's 4 minutes of additional time in the game between Atletico Madrid, Lokomotiv Moscow. Can Moscow hold on to another big point against Atletico Madrid? The 6 minutes of additional time between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. Salzburg running out of time to get a goal in that match. I believe there's a minute left at Liverpool Atalanta. There was 2 minutes, I think, added on in that match. Will probably know more than me in terms of the added time in the game. And then, of course, we got 2 minutes of additional time between Inter Milan and Real Madrid. That one is done and dusted. But probably, unless Inter Milan go, wacky here in the next 2 minutes, Real Madrid are getting the points tonight. And it was David Neres coming off for Ekelkamp in the game between Ajax and Midtjylland. So we are down to the last few minutes of tonight's games. It was a little bit of a dross first half in terms of goals. There was only 3 goals, but it certainly improved tonight. A couple of goals in some of these matches. And in every game, apart from 2, there's been a red card tonight, which has certainly spiced things up indeed. In some of the matches, in other matches, it killed it off, specifically Real Madrid. That card coming very early in the match indeed, which kind of killed the game off slightly, which is a bit of a shame. But the other, obviously, game where it kind of spurred things on was the Bayern Red Bull Salzburg match. The Bayern red card has certainly helped to improve that game in terms of Red Bull Salzburg trying to go out there and get a result. But I believe, as far as I'm aware, we have our first full-time game of the night. And I believe Atalanta have just beat Liverpool 2-0, where they couldn't do it at their own ground, but they've done it at Anfield. 2 goals tonight, one from Gosens and one from Ilicic, means that Atalanta have got themselves a vital 3 points. This team does not know how to back down when it comes to Champions League fixtures. They were sat in 3rd place. They will still sit in 3rd place because we've also had full time in the match between Ajax and Midtjylland. But this group is well and truly wide open. 2 points separates 1st and 3rd. This one is going to be an incredible group to watch as we get to the last sectors at match day 5 and 6. Could we see Liverpool drop down to the Europa League? You never know indeed. But either way, one of Liverpool, Ajax or Atalanta are going to have to drop down, and that's certainly a shame indeed. But full time there, Ajax 3, Midtjylland 1, Liverpool 0, Atalanta 2. Chris, but I had more successful passes at my school exams than we had in that game. Unbelievable. Like to say, good job at that one. Give you credit for that, Chris. And then Casport Tom Cruise was yet again given a dangerous mission, but did he find it impossible? No. He just saw a ghost and walked back to the mobile HQ to look up the proper protocol on how to deal with it. Unbelievable, Kyle. Unbelievable, Kyle. Smooth. I like it. Bloody smooth. It's full time in the game between Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Fair play to you on that one. 2-0 to Real Madrid tonight. Inter down to 10 men in that match. Arturo Vidal getting sent off. And, of course, Real Madrid tonight, pretty much a free 3 points given to them by the Italian side. Really poor from them tonight. There's 2 jokes from Peter. Bobby loves to read the newspaper. And Curtis loves a good drink of Jack and Jones. Thank you very much, as always, Peter. Keep bringing the jokes. We love them on the channel indeed. The boys, honestly, the boys, when you put them in, I can see them on the bottom of the screen. They are laughing their heads off. Honestly, Kieran out right now, he's wheezing as always. Rowan, he's crying his eyes out to the jokes. Honestly, unbelievable. So keep them coming. We love them. But he's full-time across the board in the majority of games tonight. I've just seen the guys putting the middle fingers up at me. Unbelievable. That's why they'll never be on the show again. Marseille 2, Porto 0. There's a couple of minutes of additional time in that game. 3 minutes to be precise left in that one. And I believe Bayern and Salzburg is still continuing on with a few minutes left to go. Can we maybe see a goal? Oh, my Lord. Marseille very nearly getting a late goal in that game. Benedetto, ball lobbed into the box from Dimitri Payet on the left wing. Flicks the ball towards Benedetto, who hits the post on the left-hand side. It should go into the back of the net. But I think Mark Hessin's just got a touch of the ball as well. And somehow that hasn't ended up in the back of the net. And it looks like actually The full-time whistle's been blown in that game. So full-time, Porto through to the next round of the competition. Marseille still haven't scored a goal in the Champions League. Really, really poor campaign from them. They will finish bottom of the group. Let's go to KD because there's been a chance of the game between Bayern and Red Bull Salzburg. Is it a chance for Salzburg, Kieran?
It was, and Kieran Adeyemi, he's literally one-on-one with Manuel Neuer, and he's been on fire tonight, Manuel Neuer. But he's literally straight at him again, and I mean, if if there's one thing that Salzburg need to be trained on, is that the goal has a left side and a right side, not just a middle. So yeah, still 3-1 with about 8 seconds left. So Bayern Munich are going to get away with one tonight because they've not been at their best.
Yeah, they certainly need a bit of finishing practice in Salzburg. They've missed a lot of good opportunities tonight, and I would assume in a second, as you said, the referee will blow his whistle. A good performance tonight from Bayern. Down to 10 men as well, but the full-time whistle is blown there. That is the last match of the night. That is having the full-time whistle blown 3-1 to Bayern Munich in the end. Salzburg dropping points, and they tried their very best tonight, but ultimately they just couldn't break down this Bayern Munich side who was so relentless on their day. Thank you very much, KD, as always. So that is the full-time score. Scores across the board tonight as it stands in the Champions League. Gladbach got a 4-0 win against Shakhtar in the early kickoff tonight at 5:55. 4-0 win there. They've scored 10 goals against Shakhtar in their last 2 games. Manchester City, goal from Phil Foden, the only goal of the game against Olympiacos, means that they are through to the next round of the Champions League after that 1-0 win. And then the full-time scores across the board tonight. Liverpool 0, Atalanta 2. Frustrating result indeed tonight. I know you fell asleep for most of the game, Will, but you must be frustrated if you are still awake. He's gone back to sleep again. God bless him. Yeah, I'll describe it for Will. I think he will be very frustrated tonight. Very poor performance indeed from the Liverpool team. Didn't really look up to their best, and well, it kind of proves a point because Will fell asleep. He's that bored of the match. He thought he'd give up with it, but no, don't blame him. 2-0 to Atalanta tonight. Good result there indeed. Atletico Madrid 0-0 against Moscow. Another great point tonight for the Russian side. And it makes that group fairly interesting because Atletico Madrid are still not away from the rest of the pack. And had Salzburg won tonight, we could have maybe seen a very different group standings. But we've got another game, of course, Inter Milan and Real Madrid. It was the biggest game of the night in terms of the two teams. But Kieran, now, let's be honest, that red card, it killed the game off, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. There was very few and far between in terms of chances in the second. And it was just Real Madrid dominating the ball and letting the 10-man of Inter Milan chase them down for a good 45, 50 if you include the back end of the first half minute. So just poor, really.
Very poor indeed. And of course, they've lost Arturo Vidal for the next game. They are currently sat bottom of the group. They've got a lot of work to do if they even want to get a Europa League spot at this stage. Yeah,
it's looking bleak. Luckily for them, it's not all over because it works on head-to-head. So if they win the next 2, including the one against Gladbach, they will go through as long as Gladbach don't pick up a point. It's possible, but it's looking very, very bleak.
Is indeed. No pressure on Inter Milan. They've got a lot of work to do coming into match day 5 and 6. Thank you very much, Kieren L, as always. And very quickly, 2 jokes for you, because I know Kieren likes his jokes. Carl has obviously told Peter, if he feels like silly thunder, strike me down. Yeah. And then Peter has put, Robin loves scoring dozens of goals. Unbelievable.
Just let me go.
Unbelievable. Well, Kieran's now dying on the inside of those jokes. Thank you very much, Peter, as always. Let's very quickly talk about that game. As I said, Atalanta tonight running away with things. A goal in there from the game from Gosens and a goal from Ilicic as well. So good result tonight for Atalanta. Marseille 2-0 loss against Porto, as I said. Still haven't scored a goal in the Champions League as of yet. Marseille, to kind of politely put it, Andre Villas-Boas said in his previous game, yes, I know my Marseille side has been shit in the competition. And tonight just proves how pretty poor they've been. And I'm pretty sure he'll come out with some wild profanities tonight in his press conference. He's usually quite a vibrant manager. 2-0 loss to Porto, both sides down to 10 men in that match. Certainly an eventful game indeed. And certainly an eventful game with Rowan because he was watching the game between Ajax and Midtjylland. Midtjylland down to 10 men late on, but a good result tonight for Ajax run. All goals coming in the second half.
Yeah, great. Great result for what?
For Ajax.
Were there? So we had a few in the first half.
No, you had no goals.
Really? Well, exactly. And a very good second half. As soon as them 2 goals went in the game was out of reach from Midtjylland, then the third goal went in from David Neres. and the game's over by then. They did get that late penalty, and maybe they'll put it away. That'll be a little confidence boost to see if they can ruin anyone, because they're on 0 points. They're not expected to get any more, so let's see if they can ruin any of them teams that are left in the fight's dreams of going through.
Indeed, that's all they can do now. And, well, if they can get a few points, then, well, they're not going to get a Champions League spot now. But even if they can get, maybe 1 or 2 more points, it's always a positive to come out with the extra points against some of the best sides in Europe. But as for now, Midtjylland 3-1 loss tonight. Ajax still in the fight for a potential Champions League spot. We'll have to see what happens in that group. Thank you very much, Rowan. As always, greatly appreciated. We'll talk about the next game in a second. Of course, Bayern Munich tonight, 3-1 win against Red Bull Salzburg. Bayern were down to 10 men. Kieran, once again, it's a situation where we said a few weeks ago when they played Bayern Munich that Salzburg looked good, but they just couldn't hold on. Tonight, it was role reversal. They went down in this game quite early on, conceded a couple of goals. They were 3-0 down, but they just couldn't put the ball into the back of the net, could they really?
No, they couldn't, and it's very disappointing, to be honest. If you're a Salzburg fan, I would be disappointed because Bayern Munich were there for the taking tonight. They could have genuinely got 3 points, I think, tonight, and that's not me being silly or anything. I genuinely think Salzburg played really well, and they countered Bayern Munich really well. They're set up to do that exactly. And if they could finish, they would have won that game 4 or 5-3, I think. But unfortunately for them, they're coming away with nothing from a really good performance. Just the lack of finishing let them down, to be honest.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the stats for it. They had Salzburg had 19 shots, 11 on target tonight, 7 more than Bayern Munich had. And 8 more shots overall. They didn't have the possession, but they tried their very best. And although they've lost tonight, the group is still in a fairly decent position for them to still potentially finish second, which is mad when you think about it.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy that, like we said, that group's quite close coming into it. If Salzburg were to win today, they've kind of been let off with Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow. Neither of them picking up the 3 points, which keeps them in the shout for the Europa League and maybe potentially that second place. They just need to beat Atletico Madrid and make sure they beat Lokomotiv Moscow. If they win those last 2 games, they're going to be in a very strong place. And playing like they did today, there's nobody saying that they won't.
Well, exactly. They did very good well against Atletico Madrid as well, getting very nearly beating them in that match. But as for that, thank you very much, Katie, as always, because what we will do before we end tonight's stream is we will take a look at the groups as they currently stand. And as you can see on your screen, let's take a look at Group A after tonight's results. Bayern Munich, they are through to the next round of the Champions League after their win tonight against Salzburg. They've scored 15 goals in 4 games, an unformidable side they've got. And then for the rest of the group, it's still very close indeed. Atletico Madrid, they're currently sat on 5 points. Lokomotiv Moscow now sat on 3 points. That's 3 draws for them, 2 against Atletico Madrid, which certainly makes things interesting because they could still finish in second, which is mad. They just have to try and get something against Bayern. No pressure on Lokomotiv Moscow. As for Salzburg, it'd be very unlikely for them to finish second, but they could still finish in that Europa League position. They've scored 7 goals, conceded 14. It's never a bad game when Salzburg play. They just can't concede. Neither can they really put the ball into the back of the net. Although they've scored 7, they just couldn't put the ball into the back of the net tonight. But of course, they sat bottom of the group on 1 point. Still a very tight group indeed, which makes things very, very interesting going into match day 5. Group B, as it currently stands, Gladbach sit top of the group. They've been on fire in this Champions League campaign on 8 points. Real Madrid, after their win tonight against Inter Milan, they go into second place on 7 points. Shakhtar, they'll sit in third place on 4 points. Inter Milan sat bottom of the group. They haven't won a game yet on 2 points. The pressure is really on Inter Milan now to go out there and do something, or else we could see them knocked out of the competition altogether. They've still got 2 games to go. As Kieran perfectly said, win their next 2, they could finish in second. Let's move down to Group C. Manchester City and Porto both through to the next round of the competition. Olympiacos looking fairly likely to get that third place position. As I said, still haven't seen a goal scored by Marseille in the Champions League as of yet. They've lost all 4 of their games. They're going to need to do something incredible if they want to get that third place spot. Olympiacos looking fairly comfortable to get that position in Group C. And then finally in Group D, talk about this. This is the most tight group of them all. Liverpool losing tonight means that there's only 2 points separating Liverpool in first and Atalanta in third. Midtjylland, they are going to finish bottom no matter what happens now. But unfortunately, one of these 3 teams, Liverpool, Ajax or Atalanta, are going to have to drop down. It's been a very, very tight race, and it's going to be interesting to see all 4 of those clubs fighting off against each other for who can finish in that top and second spot. Of course, Midtjylland, as I said, will always finish bottom no matter what happens. But that is tonight's Champions League games. Very eventful across the board tonight. Some very good games indeed. Carl's put in the chat, I wanted to watch Sky, but I didn't know what sports I liked. Peter's put in the chat, I did a live stream in my yard. And then he's put, I downloaded an app called Darts Counter. So I decided to pick up some sets of darts and put them on counter, ready to purchase. Lovely. So, right, that is, as I said, Champions League night of action completed. It's been a fairly eventful night indeed. Lots of red cards across the board. Let's bring the boys in very quickly. As I said tonight, boys, red card fever in the Champions League.
Yeah. I mean, is that Will?
Will's in there. I mean, we'll just bring him in anyway because he's probably sleeping. But yeah, I guess maybe he could wake up and contribute to the conversation. But red card central tonight. Of course, Inter getting a red card. Marseille, Porto, Midtjylland, and Bayern Munich. We saw how some games it worked in clubs' favours. Real Madrid, of course, tonight for pretty much 60 minutes, having majority of possession and opportunities. And as for Bayern Munich, well, it worked against them pretty much, but Red Bull Salzburg just couldn't get anything tonight in their match. And of course, Will, you must be delighted. Liverpool losing. Of course, he's asleep. He's not going to answer us. But in terms of content on the channel, we've still got more stuff to come. As always, we're hoping tomorrow night, me and Rowan, we can do a live Europa League watch-along of Nice versus Slavia Prague. Fingers crossed with that. If we can't do it, then there'll be no Europa League watch-along, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll find out what happens tomorrow night. Keep yourself posted on Twitter, which is @the_top corner. But in terms of other content, as always, there is a new episode of the Wrestling Corner, which was available yesterday, which features Simon and Rowan talking about The Undertaker's retirement. There is a race, of course, on Sunday in F1, the Bahrain GP, which is from 2:10. And then, of course, we've still got plenty more watch-along content to come on the channel in terms of footballing content. But as for now, thank you very much, Rowan. Thank you very much, Kieran. Thank you very much, KD. And thank you very much, Will. Very, very appreciated, as always.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. We will see you guys again soon, hopefully, on the channel. If you're new, as always, do leave a like and subscription. But as for now, have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and have a great night's rest, Will. See you later. Good night.